Hey everyone, this is DJ Honeyflow for the Honeyflow Talk Show. I started a little bit late, but welcome. My power actually went out, but we're going to keep this rolling as well. We got some great men joining us today. This is my first men's panel. Excited about that because last month for International Women's Month, I held a women's panel. Now it's the men's turn. Really want to know how they think, and we got a lot of great questions and some really good guys coming up as well. So definitely stay tuned. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat, and also welcome Facebook and YouTube as well. Great to see you guys here. Come over to twitch.tv/DJ Honeyflow. And of course, you'll see more of the chat. You won't really see it too much on YouTube or Facebook, but you will see it on Twitch. So let's bring all these great guys in here. We got DJLOCKDWN, DJJJONAH. We got also DJ ELEGANCE and DJ MADLIVE helping me as well. So let's bring them all in. Hey, you guys, how's it going?
Now I look like y'all.
Good.
I know we made it. We made it here. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves? I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. Let us know, what city and state or country you're from as well. So Lockdown, if you want to start with yourself, just introducing yourself to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is DJ Lockdown. Now in Phoenix, originally from Long Island, New York, and stream a few days a week here on Twitch.
Is there bells ringing in the background? Is that you, MADLIVE?
Yeah, let me know if that's bothering you. Those are wind chimes. I'm outside.
Oh, okay. Yeah, kind of. We hear it.
So relaxing.
That I hear that's super loud, like chiming in the back. All right. So DJJJONAH, if you want to introduce yourself as well.
J Jonah, Chicago. Been here before. Streamer, DJ, in real life, DJ as well.
Okay, and DJ Elegance as well.
Hi, everybody. Greetings. My name is DJ Elegance. I'm from the 6, and I am a lot of things. I'm a DJ coach. I am a mobile DJ in the truest sense. Anything from your first birthday to someone turning 75, I'll do it. And I'm also an art space educator. So we do workshops in the GTA, we call it here, the Greater Toronto Area. And I've worked in every school board doing workshops, working with young people. So we do DJing, drum, dance, and spoken word. And I work with a small team of people. And really excited to be here to talk about all things kind of related to men and relationships, etc. And thanks for having me here, Honey Flow. Appreciate you.
Awesome. And I just want to go back. I know MADLIVE's fixing his chimes back there outside, but I want to go back to you, Lockdown, and DJJJONAH. Why don't you guys explain a little bit about what you do on Twitch? Because I know some of you like host raids and do a bunch of things. So maybe explain that to others that, you know, maybe might not be familiar with your shows.
Right. So I stream on Twitch. I DJ mainly 4 days a week now. 3 days. Well, 3 days a week, and then 4 days usually a raid train or something like that. But usually it's just music for everybody to come vibe to, have a good time, and you know, get out of your normal element and try to escape whatever real life situations you got going on.
Yeah, pretty much the same. DJing a little over a year now here on Twitch. Just celebrated my 1 year back in March. Just actually reached a milestone of 1K followers on Twitch. Pretty excited about that. Have a raid train set up Monday featuring Miss DJ Honey Flow as well. We've got 9 other DJs. You can check my IG, and you know, for more information on that, it's just the 1K celebration raid train. You know, self-made as far as you know, overlays and all of the stuff that that goes with streaming. Nobody really held my hand in reference to, you know, a green screen and OBS and all of the intricate things that actually happen with streaming. So I feel pretty good about that. As you could see, the overlay or the upper third that I did for Honey Flow's talk show, you know, that's kind of where it's at. So, but you know, I just try to, you know, do the best I can in streaming. You know, I love all forms of music, everything from house to Afrobeat, everything from jazz to hip hop. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, nice. And we're just waiting for DJ MADLIVE to come back. So I just sent a private message, MADLIVE. It says your device is not connected. So you'll need to reconnect your mic and your cam to get back in the stream for me to add you. It's not allowing me to add you because it says your device is not connected. So maybe just reconnect your audio and your video, and hopefully you might want to exit out of this maybe and come back in, and it should work as well. So yeah, so thanks for joining me, you guys. So this is, of course, the modern manhood panel. I'm excited to see how you guys think, and, you know, just as men, just getting a different perspective, because we don't always have the answers as women too. So it's great having you guys, and I thank you guys for coming as well. So we're going to dive into the first question too. So I see Missy B, how you doing? Good to see you, and everyone else that's coming through. And if you guys want to host the stream, feel free to. If you go down to your main page, I think if you scroll all the way down to your recommended pages and host this show, then it's going to pop up on your pages as well. And that would be helpful for anyone else that wants to join the conversation and learn a little bit more about these guys too. So welcome. Thanks for coming through. I appreciate everyone. And of course, Facebook and YouTube. So the first question I have for you guys, and feel free to jump in. Actually, you know what? I think we got MADLIVE here. Okay, good. He just is able to come in. Okay, so before we start, we're going to get DJ MADLIVE to say what he does on Twitch and, of course, where he's from. And so you can go ahead, DJ MADLIVE.
Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Perfect.
Of course, my name is DJ MADLIVE. Born and raised out of Philadelphia. I live in Louisville, Kentucky. My motto is only stream on my days off, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, we just came up with a concept of taking requests live. It's called Requestful Friday. You come pull up and you can request any song, any genre, whatever you want to do. We just did the first one. We had so much fun. It was crazy. On Saturday, I started a podcast about a month ago. It's called Brothers Unguarded. It's for men, and it's about serious issues that men go through, no matter what it is. It's a place for men to be able to come and be open and be honest and seek anything that you need to get better and get stronger. And then on Sundays, we have Sunday Soul Vibrations, where I rock out with a couple DJs, DJ Lady Keys and DJ Creamy. And we also have the verses, which is super dope. Like you're able to pick 3 songs and go up against the other person's 3 songs. And then we play those 3 songs entirely. We don't cut anything short. And whoever wins, you get a virtual crown. And we are in volume 15. And we just did a gospel special, which wrecked people's lives. I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing. I will never do that again. I hope they come in here and I hope that they hear me. I'm not doing that with y'all no more. Y'all had me crying and boo-hooing on screen. I'm not playing with y'all. But yes, all 3, like my schedule, it took a while. I've been streaming on Twitch for 3 years. Not knocking anybody else. I don't get into the celebrations. It's all about the music. It's all about the music for me. I don't get into anything else. It's about the music and giving back to the people. So that's what I'm there for. And that's pretty much it for me.
Oh, wow. I was just going to say, Mandy Mama. 81. Thank you for the subs.
He loves that thing.
People hate this echo effect. My mods hate it. They think I sound like a ghost. They're like, turn it off. So I always bug them. I don't know if it's super loud for you guys. Let me know. Mandy Mama, I just saw another computer. Wow. Thank you. Oh, she says she hates the echo. Dang. Really? It's horrible? Oh, I like the echo.
Mandy, that's what's up. Bring your boys to the podcast. Let them listen.
Oh, man. Do you guys not like the echo? Be honest. Maybe it's a bit loud. I can't really hear myself.
It was a little loud.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I got to turn down a little bit much. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Mandy Mama, for the 5 gifted subs. Wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And she had a great comment here, too, that I really loved. She said, I'm loving these vibes as a mother raising young Black boys. So I love that. We're going to get a really good perspective from different countries. So Mandy Mama, I believe she wants a link for your podcast, DJ MADLIVE. So if you could drop it in the chat, and also drop your links in the chat too, because I don't think my Stream Elements is working. So if you guys want to just drop your links in the chat, because I don't think my mods are here. So make sure everyone adds DJ Lockdown, DJJJONAH, DJ MADLIVE, DJ Elegance. And one thing I was going to say is I thought it was like really beautiful. It was really awesome. And that's why I think I definitely picked you guys, because I know you're transparent, you're honest. We're going to have a really deep, good conversation. But MADLIVE, I thought it was awesome. Your show is really authentic, and it almost got me emotional too, just seeing you emotional. And I really appreciated that. You just speaking from the heart. He had his son come up and give him like a really big hug for a while, and I was like, wow, that actually got me kind of emotional just seeing, because you don't see that too often. So I loved your show, and I think it's awesome, and what all you guys are doing. So yeah, if you guys have any questions too, try to drop them in the chat. I'm going to get to the first one. And yes, and Mandy says, and thank you again, Mandy, 5 gifted subs, being so generous. I appreciate that. Mandy Mama says, yes, our sons need that, which is so true. So the first question I have for you guys, and if I miss anyone, just let me know. So I'm going to just let whoever wants to jump in first, and feel free to jump in. I don't, for any of you guys, just jump in the conversation. So the first question I have for you guys on this men's panel is, what characteristics and traits define a man to you?
I'm gonna let somebody else go. I'll be right back.
And there is no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever comes to your mind, whatever comes to your heart, whatever you guys are thinking.
Well, I mean,
I'll
go ahead,
go.
Elegance, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think a few characteristics that I think a few characteristics that I think are I think that define a man are, I think, like honesty, integrity, someone who's hardworking. I guess fathers are men. So if I think about, being a father, I think someone who can provide. I think provision can look like a lot of different things. Like, I think naturally in a capitalistic society, financially is like really important. But I think that like emotionally, spiritually, there's like other ways in which, someone can provide. I guess maybe we'll get into that a little bit later. But I think those would be a few characteristics that I think would be, kind of important. And I think a strong leader. I think like, when we have children, when I think to myself being young, looking at my parents or my dad, I kind of looked at my dad like he was like my superhero. So, I think a strong figure that can really lead in a powerful way and just kind of educate, educate the family, educate your children on sort of what is the right path, which I know can look differently for a lot of people, but I think at its very core, like, you want to teach your children and instill things into them that are like good values and stuff. So yeah, I'll end it there.
Awesome. I love that. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you again.
You too.
That's his daughter, guys. DJ MADLIVE's daughter. She's awesome. Yeah. So I know, DJ, thanks for that elegance. That was awesome. That was a really great answer. And DJLOCKDWN, I know you were next.
Yeah, well, so I mean, I would piggyback off of definitely what Elegance says. Definitely a great answer. I think also to add to that, the biggest thing is strength, right? Or at least we're taught strength. I'm not going to say that's actually something that you have to be. I mean, you don't have to be the more dominant person in the relationship or as a man, right? But I think we're, like I said, I think we're taught that you have to be strong. You have to be a leader. You have to make sure you provide for your family, take care of the family, all that good stuff. And I think that unfortunately, I feel like that's also a misconception, because you can also take a laid back role too, especially now in today's society where you have men staying home, not being the breadwinner. At one point, I think in my life, I wasn't the main breadwinner in the house, but I would take other roles that we are taught is a more female type of a role. And so, no, I think Elegance hit the nail right on the head. But that's what we're expected to do. But honestly, I think that has changed with time.
Okay, awesome. I see Mandy's question there. We're going to get back to her question because that's a pretty deep question as well. So I'm going to try to let them answer after they're finished this question. Mandy Mama also says respect, strength, hard work, being okay with being an emotional man. That's great. So we're going to get to your question in just one sec. I see Felicia and a few others that came in the building. I'm probably not going to look at too many comments today because I want to really focus on just the panel and all these guys as well. So I hope you guys don't mind if I miss a lot in the chat, because I probably will. So what about you, DJJJONAH? What characteristics and traits define a man to you?
I mean, pretty much, not to rehash a lot of the things that have already been mentioned. You know, you can throw integrity in there. Someone that takes care of his responsibility. Having male figures in my life, you know, that I can look upon my dad, I can look upon my grandfather, and that's what they did. They took responsibility for the family. And so, I mean, I guess we can sit here and list all of the characteristics, but those are the things that kind of, you know, stand out. You know, always trying to make sure that the family has a good name too. I think that's very important.
Okay, and DJ MADLIVE as well.
Jay Jonah, man, get out my book, man. I had to go get my book. You pulled one out of my book. I'm gonna try not to be long-winded, guys, because I'm long-winded. You know, this is something that I like to do. I like to talk. I got my brothers in here with me. Nothing against Honey Flow, but you know, I'm a mad supporter of Honey Flow. But Jay Jonah hit one. He said, your name. Okay. You got to make sure that your name is good. And I'm not talking about your first name. I'm talking about your name as in your brand, like your last name. You know what I mean? That's your family, because everybody has that name. Individually, you have your own name, but collectively, you have to stand for your name. You know what I mean? And that name that you build, it will go before you, and it will represent all the individuals in your family. So that's one. The second one is faith. You gotta have strong, you know, like you gotta have a strong faith. And please hear this when y'all listening. I'm not saying religion. I'm not telling you to be religious. It's a big difference between a man that's religious and a man that is full of faith. You need to understand the difference between the two. Okay. A man's word, like a man that'll be able to stand on his word, a man that will be able to keep his word, a man that will be able to back his word. Okay. That's a strong characteristic, in that when a man has a strong, when he stands on his word strong, not only will he get respect from his peers, but he'll get respect from the opposite sex, and he'll get respect in his community and everywhere he goes, because he's a man of his word. The other one is, this one is a little light, is his opinion. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own opinion, but you want to make sure that your opinion is genuine and that it comes from a good place. You know what I mean? You just don't want your opinion to be a generalized opinion. It has to be one that is solid and it comes from a good place. The last one, this is big, and I need y'all to hear this, especially women. Okay, I need y'all to hear this one. This is big. A man's seed. And I'm gonna pause for a minute. His seed. We got a lot of brothers out here that don't protect their seed. They spray it anywhere and everywhere. You want a man that plants his seed where he's supposed to plant his seed. Farmers only plant in good soil. I need y'all to hear me. Farmers only plant in good soil, and that's all. They only put their seed in good soil. Okay? They don't just go spraying it around and driving around different neighborhoods and putting their seeds and dropping their seeds everywhere. I'm gonna get out your way because I'm starting to get heated.
But do you think, can you guys hear me? I had to switch something. Okay.
Don't mess with me, Lockdown, because you know how we do.
Like, I was going to go back to what you said, DJ MADLIVE, because do you think it takes a man a little while to get there? Because you shared your story, MADLIVE, like about women and, you know, cheating and just different things, right? When we were in an interview. So does it take, because you said, you know, don't spray your seed everywhere, right? But do you think it takes someone a little while, maybe going through mistakes or maybe dabbling and doing certain things to kind of get there. Like, it's easy to say don't do it, but then you're saying don't do it, but that's coming from a place of maybe doing it, right? Or
right. And just think about this, okay? Is it, you saying like, can you do it, or does, like, where does it, like, does it happen over time? It doesn't have to happen over time, okay? It can happen early for you. Now watch this. I'm gonna give you a couple examples. The average age of somebody graduating high school is what? 17, 18, right? Haven't you seen somebody graduate high school before then? Right. See that? Now watch this. There's been ministers, great ministers in churches, okay? Just using that as an example, that have gone on and been very successful. Don't you see childlike ministers out here now speaking the same gospel? It's a matter of this, and this is what I've been thinking about, because I've been doing a lot of, soul searching for myself. All it takes is an open and willing heart, and to reject the norm. That's all you have to do. If you want to succeed faster than somebody else, learn from the generation before you. That's all you have to do. Listen to wisdom and knowledge. But that's the thing that a lot of us as young men don't do. You know what I mean? I've sat in a lot of barbershops and dudes was like, man, don't do this, don't do that. And what do we do once we get that fresh cut? I'm gonna go do that. You know what I mean? Listen to wisdom and knowledge. Open up your space. Stop being so tight. You can't put nothing in here. But if you open up, an open hand can receive. Man, I'm gonna get out your way.
no, it's true. I guess I was just getting at that it's easier to say don't do it, but then it's important for people to know your story as to why you had to go through your story. You had to go through hardships, or you had to go through stuff maybe with women or your wife to realize, oh man, this probably isn't as good as everyone makes it seem, And I just want to also say one other thing. Sorry. Jenny Faya. Thank you so much for the subscription too. I appreciate that. I'm trying to look at another laptop here. So I appreciate you saying that, DJ MADLIVE. Does anyone else want to jump in? I think I heard someone lockdown.
Yeah, no, I was, and I'm not gonna get on you, MADLIVE. I'm not gonna do it, man. I ain't doing it.
He's honest.
But check this out. No, I think I agree with that statement. To a certain extent, right? Once again, but with experience and knowledge and learn, right? Because you're not going to know that right off the bat. Yes, there are some people that learn a lot faster than others, but hey, you know what? And and not to say you go spread your seed everywhere. No, that's not the point. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to pick the one that you truly are supposed to be with and grow from there, right? We know that. Unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't always work to our advantage, right? We've all been in multiple relationships and you thought that was the one, and it ended up not being the one because of other situations such as communications breakdown, whatever it may be, right? So I agree with you to a certain extent when it comes to not spreading your seed. I mean, we ain't talking high school, let's go and find the hottest chick. As a grown adult with some intelligence, yes, no, you definitely got to be responsible about things. But we got to learn that, right? I mean, not everybody grows up in the same situations, and you got to learn stuff like that. Some people are lucky to have the knowledge right off the bat. I wasn't one of those people. So, and I only have my son. I have two stepchildren who I actually took care of because of the fact that their dads weren't responsible enough. So kind of like I know Disco Darren was saying, it's not easy to take care of another man's seed. Well, you know what? I jumped in at the age of 20. I jumped in and I did the thing. So it's one of those things. Not everybody's that responsible. The man was 40, I'm 20, and I'm taking care of your kid. You know what I'm saying? So.
Let me reiterate like with that, because I know what's up, Darren. You always coming in with something, you know what I mean. But not spreading your seed. It's just a matter of being careful and basically not going around laying around. I'm not saying I'm not even talking about. We know what happens when you put your seed down. Okay, we know what happens. it begins with a consciousness, not even a consciousness up here, because this is the processing unit. It has to be here first. It has to be within you that, hey, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? I have a 20, my son that's 22, he's going through a couple relationships. And I'm talking to him now because he's battling. And I'm letting him know, like, come to me. You know what I mean? Let me help you. Let me walk with you. I'm here with you. He's 22, no kids. You see what I'm saying? So if you try to change the generation and teach the generation, you know what I mean? Remember that old saying they used to say, each one teach one?
Yeah.
It takes a village. You know what I mean? All that. Change the generation. Tell the next generation, tell your next seed, don't be out there planting seeds everywhere, and that generation will change. And when he has his son, he'll teach that same thing, and and that's how it starts. It's a trickle effect. That's what I'm talking about.
Right on.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Thanks for sharing, you guys. I appreciate that. And DJ Lockdown,
I ain't
man,
messing with you, lockdown.
props to you. Props to you. That takes a lot to raise like other kids, right? And know that you're like truly impacting their lives like a lot more than you think. Like you really, really are. And that's huge, being 20 years old and taking on that responsibility. So mad props to you as well. We got DJ RL Breezy, we got Frequency Event Promotions, and a few other people that came in here. Disco Darren as well. We're going to have you on the next men's panel too. So thanks for coming through. And RL Breezy, I'd love to have you on. We got DJ Hams. Now I know Mandy had a question. Before I go into, I'm going to try to scroll up back to her question. Is there anyone else that has anything to add to that? No? Okay. All right. Just jump in if you do. Okay. So I know Mandy had a pretty deep question here. Hey, Pink Assassin, great to see you as well. Let's see. I'm going to try to scroll up to her question before I get to all my other questions here. Let's see here. Where is it? I'm trying to find it. Just going to be 1 minute. Just scrolling up. But welcome, everyone. Blue Lighting, I see you. And everyone else, thanks for coming through. Okay, this one here. This is a pretty deep question. My boys are called the N-word quite often. How can I teach them to respond without throwing a kid into a locker with a suspension? If you guys can, yeah, that's a tough question too. How would you say that to your sons, like, and what to do? Or even daughters as well, right?
I need one of y'all to say something.
I mean, I have to disqualify myself from that question because I don't have any kids.
Mm-hmm.
I have to imagine that that's a very difficult, sensitive subject matter that would take, you know, some serious thought to be able to steer the young one in the right direction, because this is the world that we live in. Mm-hmm. You know, Ice Cube had a song, "My SKIN is my SIN," and so I mean, you know, when we are dealing with it as adults, now I've dealt with it at the workplace. You know, I always try to, again, we talking about a name. You always want to still be dignified in how you respond. You don't want to play to the stereotype. You know, where you get in, you know, what's the term, indignant, and now they say, oh well, there's the typical black guy. You know, you're playing up to the stereotype. So, but you know, that's a very man, tough spot. You know, kudos to all the parents in the chat that have had to deal with that. That's a very serious subject matter.
Who was at that?
I think for Mandy, I think like there's like a few things. Like I think definitely having conversations with your kids around like the real world, which obviously sounds like they're getting a dose of it right now, to not sugarcoat it and to, you know, give them tools, language to be able to address it. Like talk to a teacher, talk to the principal. If there's no action being taken, like go above the principal's head, go to the trustee, the superintendent. That's what we call it here in Canada. I'm pretty sure it's probably something similar in the States. And then the other thing too is that as a parent, like you need to be like the teachers, the admin, they need to see a face behind the kids, because if they don't, then why should they care? I also saw your comment saying that they're the only Black kids in the school. I'm an art space educator, so I work with primarily Black youth in schools across the Toronto area where I am. And this is part of the reason why, is because in a lot of cases, students have no allies. They feel alone. They feel like their stories aren't being heard, their experiences. And I do art space education. So we do DJing, drum, dance, and spoken word workshops and try to create a safe space where Black youth can kind of heal, feel whole, like vibe on a wee level, right? But I think like I have 3 boys. You know, I had to talk to a parent today, actually. His son is touching my son's hair. So he's not calling him the N-word, but he's touching his hair. And I told my son, hey, I'm going to talk to the guy's parent. And I seen him today, and I walked over to the parent, you know, totally amicable. I said, hey, you know, our sons have been in daycare and, you know, grade school together here for a few years. You know, I know these guys play together, but just wanted to let you know that your son is touching my son's hair. And he's mentioned it a couple times. He said, he asked him to stop. He continued. I'm just letting you know, as a parent, like, you know, to have a conversation with them. I talked to my son about we want to respect our bodies and respect other people's bodies. And particularly hair, Black hair is like a very sensitive thing. It's like not to be touched. So he's like, thanks for letting me know. He's a white. He's like, thanks for letting me know. You know, I'll absolutely talk to my son about it. Sorry I have to talk to him about it, but, you know, I'll talk to him about it and let him know that it's not acceptable. But you just have to be engaged in the process. And like I said, the admin and the teachers, they need to see a face behind your kids so that this behavior stops. And it could be a long process, because particularly if they're the only Black kids in the school, white privilege or whatever's happening there, they're not making room for your children's experiences, particularly because they are a minority, because they're I'm not sure what her background is, but they're minorities, right? And they're a minority at the school. So you have to kind of be the squeaky wheel a little bit so that their voice can be heard and that their experiences can be flagged, and that people will make room to basically understand, you know, how to be, you know, like not douchebags, right?
All right.
Does anyone else have anything to add to it, that as well?
Yeah, so I also was a minority in my school. I went to a Catholic grade school, predominantly white. But it was a Catholic school, so that the N-words was basically a cuss word at that point. I mean, so you're getting in trouble if you say it regardless. So nobody's trying to hear it anyway. But as far as you know, so I can't say that I experienced that at school level. Maybe more of adult level and high school level, I did experience that stuff. And literally, I mean, it was for me to teach my kids how to deal with it. It was one of those things that a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with, but it was let it roll off your shoulders. It is a word. They need to understand the meaning of the word. Most people do not know the meaning of the word. So in that, they are that word. So at that point, you just let it roll off your shoulders. Working in the corrections facility, I used to get called names all the time, including that, everything. Anything to get a rise out of me, because that was the point of the inmate, to get a rise out of the officer. And the less you respond, the more they got frustrated. They got upset. And so you just let it go and you walk away. And the worst thing you could say to an inmate is, you know what? I get to go home right after my shift. You have a great day. And boy, forget it. It was like all hell broke loose the minute you said something like that. So it's just how you respond to it. And that's what I taught my kids. Look, it's a word. Ask them if they understand and know the meaning of the word. They don't, Okay, well then it means nothing. And walk away. Do the best you can. If you got to knock out some teeth, that's on you. You're going to deal with the consequences when you get home. I mean, real talk, real talk. That's what I did. If I got to hear about it from a principal and you were on the other end, it was two things, because I was brought up by my brothers and my mom and all that good stuff. But my brothers really taught me and said, look, if you're going to get into a fight, you better get into a fight to win. I don't want you coming home losing, because we're going to find that person. You're going to go and refight them again. So don't come home losing. So that's pretty much the mentality with my kids. Look, if you're going to get into a fight, I'm not saying I condone it, but I don't want to hear about it from your principal, your teachers. I don't want to hear that stuff. Don't come back to me with that information, because then you're going to have to deal with the consequences when you get home. And that's what it was. So my kids never, I don't even know that they were in predominantly, because here in Arizona, I mean, in the neighborhoods they were in, it was predominantly white. I don't think they ever really ran into that, or it never got back to my ears. We'll say that.
All right. Oh,
me-
yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. When it comes to a neighborhood, it only, like, the neighborhood can only start from the inside out. Start from the inside out. If you want to change it, change your neighborhood. And I'm not talking about where you live. I'm talking about you. Okay, Mandy. If there's people in your household, in your family, if there are men around them, or if whoever they hang around, if those people are using or calling them niggas, you know what I mean? And excuse me, I don't screw saying the N-word, nigga. Okay. If they're being called niggas, or anybody else in the household is using that word, then they have been hearing it long before they got around the people that's in the outside neighborhood. So if that culture is in your household, if it's in your family, start to change it from within, okay? And then go to your boys and raise the standard in your boys, okay? Teach them that, no, you're not such. And teach them about who they are and how precious they are and how powerful they are. Without any skin color, without any, all that, no. Just tear it down from the inside, and then build them up, so that when, like, you can call me, listen, you can call me a nigga all you want. I will stand there and look you in your face and be like, when you're ready to change the conversation, you let me know, because I got something to say, because I'm not a nigga. I know this, okay? You can call me whatever you want. You call me an asshole. Now, I am kind of an asshole, but still, it doesn't affect me to the point where it's going to bother me. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this: you're only going to be affected by that which you believe is in you.
Right.
Yeah, but I think the thing though is that, like, we have to sometimes put our shoes in, like, our 12 to 21-year-old self, right? So we're all grown men here who now have discernment, wisdom, and have life experiences where we can answer things differently. But I can surely tell you that, if someone were to call me a nigger right now, I'm almost 50, like, next month. Like, I'd be pissed, and I would be saying something to your face, right? The word is, like, for me, like, growing up in hip hop, you hear the word. I know that the word itself, we could talk probably a whole podcast just on the word itself. But when you look at historically the word, this is a word that for some people is the last word they heard before they had a bullet go into the back of their head, before they were lynched. Like, it is a derogatory term. So, you can try to reclaim it as a community, but personally, there's so much negativity attached to it. And then you're 12, 13, 14, you're the only Black kid at your school. In a classroom of 30 kids, you're the only Black person, and someone calls you a nigger. And then everyone turns around to look at you, right? And it's like, how are you supposed to respond at 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, filled with, like, testosterone, piss and vinegar, and you want to fend for something? Because as a young person, that's what we do. we defend everything, right? Because it's like a smear on us. It's, you know, we don't want to look, we don't want to be dissed, right? And so, like, I think, not to take away from anything that's said, but it's just that, you know, I think it's very tricky for young people to navigate these situations. And I just think that the one thing I would say is that, you know, I think it's unfair that we put so much on our young people, our Black boys and girls, to continually have to like navigate this tricky, like, you know, this dichotomy. Like, how do you exist being Black in a space that's not Black, and be able to walk around with a sense of pride and dignity, right? Someone saying these things, like, it is a form of bullying, right? And bullying has detrimental social effects on someone: depression, anxiety, suicide, all these things, right? So I definitely like a lot of what's being said, but I think that the work is not always on the victim, right? And so, you know, we need to be able to equip our young people with tools to be able to take action and to not put up with this or feel that it's their fault, right? That someone calling them this name that is unacceptable, or any name, right? So that they can go to school and just be a student, right? And not feel in fear or have anxiety, right? So just adding my 2 cents to the conversation. Like, I've worked in the not-for-profit sector for over 20 years, and this is like where I cut my teeth on a daily basis. And a lot of Black youth are suffering in school, the school system, and in community, because the proper supports aren't there for them to be able to not only navigate a white patriarchal society, but also to navigate these systems of oppression, right? And these microaggressions that they face every day, right? So,
yeah. Thanks for that, you guys, your input.
Honey
yeah.
Flow. I know this, I want to get off.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
It's like wildfire. Breezy just said you got to teach them early. Yes. Okay. And I wanted to give an example, because I know we all agree with that. My son, my baby boy, y'all see him, he pops up and do cameos all the time. Okay. He's 7. Some little Caucasian girl in his school called him a nigger. Okay. Now, what did I do? I put on my bear, went up to the school. Okay. I got ushered straight to the principal. Me and the principal, we sat down, and I explained to her exactly what I said. This is not in my family. We don't speak it to him. We don't speak it in our household. He doesn't speak it himself. I want something done. Okay. I want to meet the parents. I want to sit down with the parents. I went through everything. She said, trust me, we will handle it. Okay. I was ready to meet the little girl on the schoolyard. Okay. Just let them hash it out there. I don't care. But when I say taking care of it from home, and like taking care of it early, he's 7 and he had to deal with this. What 7-year-old has to deal with that? You see what I'm saying? But now, like, if I was to use that word and he was to hear me speaking it in this conversation on this panel, he would check me, and I will allow him to check me, because that's what it's his life. You see what I'm saying? So we got to start early. Thanks for that, Breezy.
Okay, one thing I'm going to ask you guys, because I like what you guys were saying, words are power. People used to make fun of me for always saying that on radio. Oh, Honey Flow, you're being too strict, you're being too whatever. But like, words are really powerful. Like, even in the music as DJs, what we listen to is powerful. Sometimes we don't realize what we're putting in our minds or our hearts or our souls, right? And sometimes that can lead to other things like anxiety, depression, stress, but we don't realize what we're intaking, because we don't always intake the best music, right? So I'm going to ask you guys, how do you feel about, like, like, I don't even think that word should not even be used at all. But like, I'm hearing artists, I can't remember if it was Tribe Called Quest or like De La Soul, like typical artists that I love, listen to. How do you feel about playing that music, and now you have the N word in the music? Are you okay with that? Are you not okay with that? How are you also with your own culture saying that to one another? Like, I feel very uncomfortable, and a few times I've played like Tribe Called Quest or some of these artists, and I was like, oh snap, I didn't even realize that word was in there, and it literally makes me cringe. Like, I don't like playing it. So how do you guys, that's just me though, but how do you guys feel with the music then?
It bothers me. I work from a handicap. I was a DJ back in the day when it was analog, and I've been out of the game for 20 plus years, and I'm just coming back. I can't censor everything. You know what I mean? Like, I can't catch it. If I, trust me, believe me, if I could catch it all, because there's like, I would use my controller more than I would use my tables because there's a censor button. You see what I'm saying? There's a censor button. I would censor it all based on what I'm teaching my son. He can hear it. You know what I mean? So when I know that I'm going heavy, with hip hop, and that's going to have those kind of words, even any kind of words that are not spoken in his life, I put these headphones on and you can't hear anything when I'm streaming. I keep it away from him. That's the best that I can do. You know what I'm saying? So it bothers me straight up, and I don't allow it in his ears so that it gets inside him. But it does bother me.
For myself, like, it's funny because so yeah, like, I've already revealed my age. I think we're all, probably same age, 5, 10, 15 years. I don't know. But yeah, like, even for me, like, some of my MP3s, they're ripped right off analog. So yeah, it's in there. I don't have radio edits for stuff. For me, it is a bit cringe as well. For me now, like, I have 99%, I play clean edits. I do, as I've mentioned, as an arts-based educator, I do DJ in those settings with youth. So also just, being a parent as well myself, I want to be mindful of some of the things I'm playing in a variety of settings, corporate, wedding settings, right? It's funny actually because Honey Flow, a spot that you and I both have played at out in Oshawa, actually I had bar staff coming up to me saying, hey, they're like, we enjoy what you're playing, but like, what's with the clean versions? And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, it's all like, did corporate tell you not to play anything? Because it's like, we're all good here. Like, let it fly. And I'm like, no, I really appreciate you coming over and letting me know. I go, respectfully, it's more of like a me thing. I just generally play clean edits, right? And then they kind of look at me, walk away. But yeah, like, I feel, some level of responsibility to try to keep it as clean as I can. Obviously, we know the innuendo and subject matter is a whole nother story. But also in my own car, when I'm driving to school, I drive my boys to school. It's like a 20-minute ride, 25-minute ride. And, we listen to like the Heat on XM radio. Some of the tracks I like, some of them I don't like. So then we listen to the groove, right? I put them on like Earth, Wind and Fire and like Stevie Wonder and MJ and try to give them, try to expose them to like a lot of things. But yeah, even if my boys, like, also just from a standpoint spiritually, like just helping them understand like the language that we want to be using in the house. If they hear swearing on certain shows, even they're like, oh, daddy, they're like, we heard a swear word. And I'm like, all right, we just changed the channel, right? So yeah, I don't, I know for myself as a parent, like I want my kids to be kids as long as possible. I have 3 boys, 20, 23, turning 23 in a couple months, just turned 10 and 7, right? And for me in my household, yeah, like my kids aren't playing Call of Duty at this age of 10 and 7. They can wait for all that stuff. I don't want them being exposed to like graphic imagery and horror movies and gore. I want them to be a kid as long as possible. You know what I mean? Because yeah, once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. I find it so challenging as a DJ, just playing music that's uplifting and inspiring. And the same place that me and Elegance played at, I had that manager multiple times come back to me and ask me to play the dirty versions. And it's not my thing. It's not something I'm going to do. So if I lose a gig, I'm totally 100% okay with that. Because someone's going to respect what I do. But most kids want the dirty versions. And even when you clean it all out, they still yell the dirty versions like crazy, right. And I have to remember what I was like when I was 13, because I was listening to gangster rap and all kinds of stuff too at 13, right? But I agree, if you come from like a radio background like Boa Ninjas or like DJ Elegance, he's running a DJ company, you actually reach a larger audience. And I know a lot of people disagree with me, but it's true. You reach a larger audience on radio or corporately, or if you do weddings, clubs, whatever you do, you know, when you try to keep it a little bit more radio edited, but not everyone is digging that, which, you know, it's their prerogatives, I guess. Sorry, did someone want to jump in? I think I heard something.
I think so. From a club perspective, I don't know anybody who wants to hear clean edits. At least any of the clubs I've played. That that's what I go back to what I was saying before. It's a word, right? And I understand. I'm not trying to lessen the word. It has a history. That word does have a history. We know that. It's a very strong history. It hits a lot of people. You know, our ancestors. It hits more than it hits us because we weren't a part of that, right? We were born into it, but we never experienced it besides what we experience today, right? We can't sit there and say we were slaves how many years ago? We weren't. We don't know how that feels, right? That's just my opinion. It's a word. I've heard it so many times, and whether it be in the prison system, whether it be, you know, growing up, all that stuff, it's gotten to a point where it's numb. It's like literally, like even I've had friends sit there and joke with me, and I'm kind of just like, dude, you know what? If you know the meaning of it, you understand that whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, it don't matter. You can also be a nigger. It has nothing to do with color. So if you understand that and you want to joke with it a little bit, okay, we can joke between us. Don't show it to the public. Between us, cool. I'm okay with that. But the minute you start making it a publicly known type of thing, that's where it becomes an issue, because then we're going to have to deal with somebody else's perspective on it. Right? You see what I'm saying? And so, like I said, for me, if I'm playing it, I'll play it on Twitch. I'll play it on at the clubs. That's what they want. They're paying me to play what they want. It doesn't mean I like it. Hell, I've been told to play country, and that is not my favorite thing. But it put some money in my pocket. Real talk. So
you look country though.
I do. Come on.
Yeah,
You know what,
you look country just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I went
was
from Honey Flo. I went from Denzel to country. What kind of stuff? Anyway,
He really looks like. Well, I know they call him Denzel. He's very suave guy. He's clean shaven. I was like, who is that? Like, what? How does someone look so different? But go ahead.
I was gonna say just quickly, like with the use of the word, like I think like in music, like I think there's like obviously, you know, a time and place, right? So I think naturally if you're at like a hip hop show, yeah, you're opening up, people want to hear the real raw stuff, right? So I think, yeah, if you're playing clean edits in that situation, for some people, you know, it may be off-putting. So for me, just personally and spiritually, I'm not really trying to hear swear words and the N-word. And yeah, like I also respect, you know, I also respect everyone's response because it's like, it's what's true for them. But definitely Lockdown, I'm going to have to disagree with you about like the use of the word, like particularly that other people can be called. Like, I think when it's used, it's a very, the word has even become weaponized. And again, like we've, you know, obviously, like I said before, we could talk ad hoc about it. It could be the whole podcast, but, you know, I think again, like our perspective is one thing. I think in the initial way we were talking about it, right, being a young person, I think even being someone older, like I think as we're older, we have more wisdom and discernment. But I think at the root of the word itself, I think the word is problematic. I think it's very toxic, and I think the history behind the word, I don't think there's anything edifying about it. I don't think it's anything positive, right?
And I agree with you, but I mean, you can say that about a lot of words. That's what I'm saying. Like, if that's the case, we're going to take out half the dictionary, right? I mean, not to say it's in the dictionary, but
there's levels, though, right?
There's levels, absolutely.
Like, put it this way, right?
100%.
Like you heard Dave Chappelle, right? Dave Chappelle talked about this, right? In his comedy specials, right? So when he said something like, you know, towards the LGBTQI community, right? Gay, faggot, right? Oh, you can't say that on TV.
Right.
You can't say that on TV, but yet
Right.
on the show, he's like, well, wait a minute. I'm saying nigga this, nigga that on the whole show, and no one stopped me from saying that at all, right?
Right.
And so we have to I don't want to beat to death, but I just think like they're like, as we said, words have power. And I think that word particularly is just very toxic. You know,
Yeah.
no other community, like the word is thrown around like tissue paper, even by other people outside of our community. But yet I could never go to someone Jewish and say you kike. I couldn't say that.
No.
I can go to an Asian person and say you chink, right? I couldn't say that, right? The whole community comes down your head, but the N word is the only word where we're divided. We're so divisive on it, and half of us want to claim it, half of us say no, the other third or whatever. Like it's so sectioned off into so many ways, right?
Absolutely. And to add to what, so like you said, and we've been saying, words are power, right? Words are power. We choose to give, and once again, I am not saying that anything is being said is wrong, or I'm arguing the fact of it's a bad word or not a bad word, but words are power. We give them that power. We can take it away just like we give it, right? So like I said, I told you, like working in the prison system, you don't know how many different things I've been called. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. All the way from the N-word to Urkel. And it's just to get a rise out of me. But the minute I took away that power, and I just walked on, or I went about my business, all of a sudden it didn't bother nobody, and everybody just did what they did. But I didn't give it the power. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like we need to teach as far as the young kids growing up and things like that. Don't give it the power. They're looking for a rise. They're looking for you to react. Less reaction will then make them stop.
Well said. Both of y'all.
Yeah, and I just want to, with everyone on the panel, there's going to be a lot of different opinions. Of course,
Right.
We're all human. We all have different opinions. We all respect whether you agree, whether you don't agree.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that dialogue, and I appreciate your question, Mandy, because that was a deep question, and it's not easy to kind of answer. I just also think like how Elegance thinks, like so many people fought for our freedoms that aren't alive today. Like so many people fought for them, and although I'm not African American or Black, I'm saying that so many people fought for them that you can look at. And I don't know, they gave up their lives, right? And even as a woman too, a lot of women had to really fight to get rights as well in different areas. So I think it's kind of looking at that too. That's why I really hate like even the word in hip hop. I don't like it. And you're very filtered in what you could play and what you can't play, and I just wanted to, so we're going to actually move on to the next question here. I think we're on question 3. So I want to.
Honey Flo, can I say something?
Yeah, no problem.
I just want to acknowledge the chat. We got a lot of Twitch royalty that's supporting this discussion right now. DJ Vance Dale is here. The Party Rocker Kev G is here. Pink Assassin, Steph One Love is here. I don't think we got a chance to do that early on, but just had to shout them out. They are here listening to us have this discussion.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Jay Jonah, because I'm looking at a few multiple things here. And Steph One Love, thanks for coming through. Great to see you. We got Lady B, Vance Dell. It's good to see you, my bro from Atlanta. I hope you're doing well too. And I'd love to have you on sharing your perspective next time too. So we're going to switch.
Honey Flo, real quick. I just wanted to shout out a couple people from sort of the Appleton crew, my posse, so Frequency, and then I wanted to shout out my mod, Jody Jam Jam, for being here, and also Brampton Scotian gal. So we're hoping she comes back on Twitch. She was doing a lot of mixology stuff before the last year, before just life for her. But yeah, I just wanted to hail up a few people as well.
For sure, she does a really cool stream too with cocktails and everything else. Yeah. Is there anyone else that wants to shout out anyone? Anyone I missed? You know, I see Kev G,
Yeah.
Jody,
Shout out to
so many people. If I miss you, I apologize. I'm still new to like a big panel. So thanks for jumping in, Jonah, and you guys. Anyone else?
Oh yeah, DJ Neek 10. She's
Yes.
moving on Twitch. She's on all the big raids. Shout out to DJ Neek 10.
And she's security for all of us. So we love DJ Neek 10 as well. So thank you guys for joining us. And we're going to get into the next question too here. And again, just respecting each other's views and opinions. We're definitely going to have different ones. In this day and age, it's some people get really mad when you have different opinions, but we're human. We're going to have different opinions on things. The key is respect and just coming together and sharing them. So I wanted to ask you guys, who inspired you basically as a man, you know, in your life, and what characteristics did they have that you liked?
My pop, he was the coolest dude. I used to say he was the Cliff Huxtable of dads. He was so cool. He was crazy. You know what I mean? My dad was from a small town called Coatesville. It's like a little small town in Pennsylvania. You know, growing up watching them, you know, they was into fast cars, you know, like, you know, Mustangs and, you know, Chevys and stuff like that. But my dad, like going back to what Jonah had said, and I agree with him, my dad was real big on family, you know what I mean, and the family name, you know what I mean. And although, here's the weird thing, although my dad didn't teach me much, he taught me the general stuff, you know, he took me fishing, stuff like that. But when it came like later on in life, he really didn't teach me like how to take care of life, how to handle life, how to deal with life. You know what I mean? Losing his wife, my mom, at an early age, it was tough on him. And he had to raise so many kids and he had to work his behind off. You know what I mean? So I got my work ethic from my pop. You know what I mean? I got the, you know, like the name stability from my father. You know what I mean? Like he was just the coolest dude. You know what I mean? So it was my pop. I could say a lot about my pop. He passed away. You know, he's no longer here, but he's with me in spirit every single day. Like sometimes I'll see something that I do, like these glasses. I just got glasses. I look just like my pop. It freaks me out. I'm like, I woke up one day like, and I said to him, "Pop, I look just like you." That's how much he walks with me. But yeah, my man, my pop is my pop.
They look good on you too. You really match. You match.
Like,
you know,
I
that's
look like
your
the rest
look.
of the brothers.
You look like you should be on a Lens Crafters commercial. Like you look
like the rest of them.
You match the look. Same with Elegance and Jonah. Hey, all you guys have glasses.
That's what I was
Lockdown. Yeah, you guys. I think I missed that looking at the chat.
We all blind. We moving too fast in that direction now.
We all messaged each other earlier. Wear your glasses.
Yeah.
No, put it on.
So
really?
if I could go next.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
I think it's appropriate that those that had father figures in their lives have to give, you know, proper homage to their dads.
Yeah.
Shout out to MADLIVE for making mention of that. You know, we're on a gaming platform. All of us are DJs. My love for music came directly from my father. You know, he would hog the record player. You know, but what he was doing was he was giving me an education. You know, the Lonnie Liston Smiths, you know, the Miles Davis that went on, the Stevie Wonder. And see, I mean, what I didn't recognize at that point is I was being given a musical, you know, foundation to be able to refer back to. And I have to thank my father for that. The other men in my life, and I think I mentioned this on our interview, you know, when I went over my uncle's house, see, he's completing the education by giving me more, you know, of what my dad wasn't playing. You know, we go to the Elements, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Isley Brothers, OJ. We go over to my other uncle's house. You know, he's playing the Barcades. He's playing all of the funk. So I'm getting a well-rounded education, you know, from a musical perspective. Now, my father, again, is a man's man. He provided for us. You know, our household growing up, it was very hard. He didn't make it easy. But what he, again, is doing, he always used to tell my mom that I'm raising men, not girls, and not to knock women, but I mean, as boys, right? I mean, it's biblical. Do not spare the rod. We need that guidance as men to be able to stand on our own, as we've been talking about championing our name. See, if he let us do what we want to do, see now we're reckless. We're out here doing all kind of things, that are not befitting our name. So, but I could talk on this for a while. I want the other guys to get in there, but yeah, my father is the most influential in my life.
Love it. That's awesome. Who else wants to jump in there here?
You want to go, Elegance, or you want me to go? My father definitely, to a certain point, he definitely, like, he definitely got my ear to the music. He definitely taught me a lot. He definitely was there when I needed him until he wasn't. I would really say, I'd say my brothers, my two older brothers, and my mom, to be honest. They taught me who I am, and how to be, and to be myself, and teach me how to be a man. My mom, from what age of 13 on up, she was raising 3 boys by herself. So she took on both roles and doing 2 jobs and the whole bit and caboodle. My brothers had to look out for me when my mom wasn't around. So, because once again, my dad was there to a certain point. So I'd like to, I would have to say they were the biggest influences in my life in teaching me how to be and who I am today.
Yeah, for myself, it's an interesting question because my parents divorced when I was in like grade 6. So I didn't really have my dad around for like those formative years. So I think initially, he was that inspiration. You'd see him at Christmas, over the summer. I lived in Ottawa, which is like the nation's capital in Canada. It's like the Washington, D.C. of the US. And then my dad lived in Toronto, where I live now. So it was like about 4 hours away by car. So you're not exactly just driving there on the weekend and coming back, right? So I think early on, my dad, I think my formative years, definitely my mom held some of that space, but I think also coaches, like I was involved in athletics, played football, pretty high level here in Canada. So a lot of coaches really inspired me. And then like athletes, right? Like I looked up to like a lot of different athletes to try and draw like strength from, or an example just with their work ethic, or, how dialed in they were maybe to their craft. So those were sort of like some of the things that really helped influence me growing up, right? Yeah, I think those would be some of the individuals, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love how you guys mentioned your fathers. I was thinking, maybe they'll say celebrities or someone else. So it's pretty amazing, the people that you keep that are either your family or not, how much impact they could have, right? And how much impact you could have as a man on someone else, even if he's not blood related to you, right? Like how Elegance said, a coach, how that could be a lasting impact. So it's really important to kind of give back and connect even with younger people to help them along the way too, especially in these times. So going on to my next question, everyone, I think all you guys said something here. Do you think men have outlets to communicate their emotions?
It's kind of a broad question. Outlets could be anything. It could be anything. I believe that men do have, outlets to communicate their emotions. Some of them are not in the proper place. You know what I mean? Like well, let me say this, some men, because I hate generalization. I do. Some men, some men don't like counselor, going to counselors and things like that. Some men don't have a spouse to be able to go to, a father figure to go to, someone to share and be honest, a best friend. You know what I mean? So what do? They go to the very thing that may get them lost or may carry them away to where when they do have to talk to a physical person, they find difficulty doing that. What I mean is some people they'll go talk to some kind of substance, you know what I mean? Something like that. Or me, when I was younger, I went to the basketball court, and I that's where I used to work out my stuff at. So it all depends.
Yeah, I would say I think to generalize, I think it's a challenge for a lot of men to like be able to go to someone. I think part of that is because of social conditioning, and as men, for like the message is, you know, be tough, be strong, don't show your emotion,
right,
and don't be vulnerable or don't open yourself up. So I think just maybe broad sweeping, but for me to answer the question for myself, like I had to go to like a lot of other friends that I like, you know, as I mentioned, my dad was not there. So kind of how to deal with women growing up, things like that. I didn't have like a birds and bees talk, right? I didn't have someone kind of talking to me about like, this is what it looks like to have like a healthy dating relationship. Or as MADLIVE said, you know, don't be spreading your seed everywhere. Like I didn't have someone really talking to me in those ways, right? I didn't have that voice. So for me, my friends, some of my peers, the ones that like, you know, didn't talk all that nonsense, but like peers that I really looked up to, guys in my circle that I felt really had their head sewn on straight, were the guys that I went to for like advice, or when I was in a really tough position. You know, they're people that I would lean on to be able to communicate. And for me, like I have like a lot of people that know me or that I know. I have people from church community, football community, basketball community, you know, not-for-profit sector community, now the DJ community. Like I know a lot of people, right? Like I'm not trying to beat my chest. Like I can go in different cities and I run into people that I know, right? Like someone from Toronto I haven't talked to, they're in Philly or they're in Chicago, right? Like I run into people, but I only really have probably like less than 10 people that like know my soul, right? So I have many acquaintances, but there's only a few people that are like really, really true friends that I feel I could really open up to and share deep, dark secrets with, or really tough things that I'm going through. And I'm really grateful for it.
And also having like, I don't know if it like I hear this from a lot of women too, where they're just like, come on, man up. Like you got to be a leader. You got to do this. But what I'm realizing is we're all human. Like men aren't superheroes. Like, you know, sometimes as women, we think I'm like, okay, a man's going to be a protector, a provider, like almost like a superhero. And I'm learning actually through all you guys that like, you know, like we're all human. Men have emotions as well too. And, you know, they can't get everything right, just like I can't get everything right either. But that's just from my perspective, being a woman and hearing so many women tell men to man up and just, I think, does that make it hard actually communicating your emotions? Like, is that considered kind of weak?
I think it can be if it's not a safe space, and
Yeah.
then your feelings and you being vulnerable is going to be thrown in your face, twisted or manipulated. So I'll just stop there. I know Lockdown wanted to say something.
No, please. I don't want
Oh, go ahead, Lockdown.
I just think obviously we're time has changed. Once again, we get into the whole time thing. Yeah. At one point, I can tell you in my life, I thought it wasn't okay to express my feelings, and you know, the outlets weren't there. Now in my life, I mean, I'm 45 years old, and I'll cry in front of anybody. I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't honestly. If that's the case, and you're upset or something that that a man is showing their emotion, you're in the wrong place, because I don't care for you if I can't express my feeling or get my words out. Hell, a lot of people have been seeing that I'm posting on IG like crazy, a whole bunch of quotes and all that good stuff, and a lot of that has to do with me personally. But it's me getting my emotions out, even if it's out on social media. Granted, are you going to hear the story of behind it? No, but you're going to have an idea of what's going on, and it's and that's an outlet for me. And so if I have to, if I'm that deep hearted about something, you're going to see me cry. We have our movement meeting. Jay Jonah, first meeting he was in. Jay Jonah, first meeting he was in, and I was talking about I'm going to take a break, and literally at the end of the meeting, I broke down and cried in front of 10 guys. 10 guys, literally. Had no remorse about it at all. So once again, did we have the outlets? No. Do we have the outlets now? Yes, we do. Is it okay to show emotion? 100%. It's okay to say you're not okay.
I got a bottom line for you, if you will, and it's just a bottom line in my opinion. You know what's a weak man? You want to see a weak man? A weak man is a man who negates his position, who gives up his authority, who doesn't even try to stand up for what he is. That's a weak man.
And we're definitely creating a lot of them. It's like social media, groupthink, shaming, bullying, like just, we're creating an environment now where to stand on your own too, and to feel proud to stand up for what you believe in. It seems that we're going in the opposite direction of that a lot in society right now. So
yeah, I personally have had I've been the beneficiary of a wonderful family. Those same uncles that I aforementioned, I can go to any one of them and let my hair down, so to speak. Speak about, confidential talk. Hey, this is what I'm going through. And, I really cherish having that type of outlet, being able to, go to them. I mean, I would approach my dad, but a lot of times he takes the father role. Boy, where he sunned you. And, finally I had to say something after 47 years. You can't keep sunning me, Pop. You got to listen to what I'm telling you, But I've been truly a beneficiary of my family, my uncles, I even have a cousin that I lean on a lot as well.
No, it's good. It's good that we have those individuals in our corner, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's helpful, as you mentioned, MADLIVE, because if we don't have it, we self-medicate, we do other things, right, to get that frustration out, that feeling out. It has to go somewhere, right? And a lot of times it can lead to destructive habits, right? Because we don't have a way to express it, right? So yeah.
I will touch on this line before Honey Flow moves on to the next question, because none of us have touched on it. Spiritually, you got to be able to talk to your father. You know what I mean? We're not going to go down that line. We're not going to. I'm just saying, if you're going, you got to be spiritually connected somehow, because not every time you're going to be able to. If you're the kind of person like me, if you was going to the basketball court, it might have been raining or snowing. Where you going to go? And you ain't got nobody in the house. You know what I'm saying? Or you might need to get to like Jonah said, he got many men in his family. If he can't connect with one of them and you can't get to you got both of them blocked, where you going to go? You know what I mean? You got to have some kind of spiritual connection somehow, some way.
I agree 100%. One thing I'm going to ask you, MADLIVE, to that, I know not everyone may not believe or is spiritual, as well. I feel like we're living in some really, really serious, heavy times. And I do appreciate you, Lockdown, for posting what you posted, because there's so many streamers that are going through the same thing, right? There can be a lot of pressure being in front of the camera, or you just get exhausted, or just going through life and going through things and streaming. I think we've all been there, if we're honest. So I really appreciated what your video on Instagram. It touched me and, made me realize, hey, there's other people that just need to take a mental break as well, especially with this whole social media thing. But MADLIVE, I have a question for you, because I know there are some women that ask me this question. The ones that are spiritual or may go to church, one of their questions were, how come men don't really go to church? Like, it's like probably 90% women. So like, is it because it's become too feminine, like the messages, or just you're just not feeling it? Like, I know you can't speak on behalf of everyone, but that was one question I did get from a few women. And since you mentioned the spiritual piece, I wanted to, and anyone else could jump in. Do you think that they probably could change things there? I don't know.
Like you said, I can't speak for all men, why a lot of men don't go to church. I can speak for myself, and I can say why I stopped going to a physical church. I mean, like, I'm not going to be the one to get super biblical here. But men are preoccupied from so many different directions, okay, that in this time, we have so much to deal with, and we're being pulled from here, we're being pulled from there, that we feel as though that, and like I said, some of them, that's the listen, on a Sunday, when you get a day off, you might get a Sunday off where you don't have to do anything. We don't, as men don't, we listen, I need a rest, I need break. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they don't want to get up and go to service. They just that tired from being pulled from so many different directions all week that he just doesn't want to get up. It could be a lack of understanding, that he doesn't know that it's a fueling station, just like you got to put gas in a car. You know what I mean? So it could be a lack of knowledge, something like that, or just plain, I don't want to go because I don't want to be there. So many different options. You know what I mean? So with each man, it varies. You know what I'm saying? But me, for myself, I stopped going because of the doctrine that was the dogma that was being taught. You know what I mean? It wasn't coming to me correctly. I found out that what you were saying and what I studied and received in my spirit was two different things. And I'd rather take it directly from the source than to get it from you.
Okay. I get that. I appreciate that. I guess it's one thing they just noticed that I know some guy friends said it's just way too feminine. Like, so you see like 99% women and maybe like 2% men. So that was always a question, but I hear what you're saying.
Church is not feminine, nor is it masculine. And like I said, I don't want to get super spiritual, because if you want to say church is feminine, can I go there for a second? Just give me this, okay? If you want to say church is feminine, okay?
Not me. Some of my guy friends.
No. I'm just saying anybody in general, okay?
Yeah.
Church is not it's not a female. It's a body. It's a collection of believers, male and female, okay? If you want to know, start studying, okay? Start studying the body of Christ. Christ is the head, okay? And he is not, it's not a male thing, okay? It's not a male. Oh, God is the male. No, he's a spirit, okay? The spirit is at the top, connected to the body, okay? And then it moves all in one direction. Stop generalizing stuff as male and female. Like, just, I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna let it go.
All right. Thanks for your comment. Anyone else want to jump in?
I know one thing like that I've heard is that like, I haven't really heard anything about why men don't go, but I know for kids and stuff, like statistically, they say that for kids, any parents in the chat right now, if you want them to have a connection to the Lord, right, that they've said generally that if your child is introduced to the Lord on a pretty consistent basis before the age of 12, like, the odds of them continuing sort of on that path, that spiritual path, is much higher than if you introduce it a lot later, right? So that's just one thing I've heard. But yeah, it would be maybe interesting to know, like, if if like maybe why more men aren't, or what the numbers are, right? Like it's kind of interesting. So
maybe if more women went to church, society wouldn't be the way that it is. Never know. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it was just a question that a few women wanted me to have. So since you mentioned the spiritual thing, I figured I'd bring that up. Hey, Shay Tay and everyone else, thanks for coming through. I see you, the original DJJU Ice, right? It's not DJ Juice.
No.
Yeah, I kept calling him DJ Juice, and everyone else because it's just much easier with all those underscores. DJ Neek 10, everyone else, Breezy, DJ Fresh. Disco Darren, Boa Ninjas, Charmaine the villain that came in, Ash in the club, everyone else. Thanks for coming through, you guys. So the next question I have for you guys is, what pressures do you have as men, being a husband, if you're a husband, father, just a leader in general, over your household to provide and keep everyone happy?
Where to begin?
I know.
Like, this is like another podcast, right? I think there's like, for me personally, like there's a lot of pressure. I was an employee. Now I'm like a full-blown entrepreneur. I have like 3 hustles. So yeah, like at times when there's like friction at home, colliding schedules, you know, I already have enough internal pressure on my own, just being a competitor, knowing that I have to hit a certain amount of income every month to pay bills and to stay ahead and stuff. When you have, external pressure, my own internal pressure, but internal pressure is in like, you know, family, wife, kids, etc. Like, yeah, it really wears on you, right? It becomes extremely challenging. Obviously, we've had conversations already around navigating, you know, so many things, right? Like, as a Black professional, right? There's challenges there. There's like being a DJ-preneur. There's challenges there where you're kind of, you know, trying to get certain gigs or into certain spaces. There's a lot going on, right? So yeah, sometimes it can be a lot. I find lately I'm like falling asleep more randomly. Like I get in, I put my head down for a second, like half hour goes by, kind of burning the candle at both ends. So as of late, been trying to do a lot more self-care, saying no, not trying to scramble around doing everything, maybe taking a step back to really assess what's working. I know Honey Flo, you and I talked about this, just not being too caught up in the gig economy and running to every single gig every time something comes up. Is like really stepping back and like looking at the return on investment in terms of your time, what you're being paid. But yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure, like on men, on fathers. We have to play a lot of different roles. So yeah, it can be challenging, but it can also be a tremendous joy, right? You know, having your you know, my sons, like the things that they say, my wife will tell me things that they say and how they look at me, and being in that position to be an example to them and a role model. Knowing other young people that I've been able to impact, being in a sort of father figure role or a mentoring role, right? That obviously brings a lot of joy to my heart, and is one of the reasons why I do what I do outside of just DJing specifically, as an art space educator, working with young men and women. But yeah, like it can be a challenge. So I'll just stop there.
Yeah, I just want, sorry, before we go on to the next Mad Live, I think you were going to say something. I just want to say thank you, Mandy, Mama, again. Wow, for those 5, I won't do the echo on you. She doesn't like the echo. For those 5 gifted subs, that's crazy. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, definitely drop them in the chat for these guys. I'm trying to look at the chat and catch them as well. And I just want to say something that most people don't know too about DJ Elegance. He's helped me out a lot, you guys. He's helped me out tremendously, more than most people think, like with advice on DJing, because I still feel like I'm such a beginner next to all you guys. You know, you guys could do it with your eyes closed. Me, I'm like, oh, this is taking me forever and it's frustrating me, right? But Elegance has given me such awesome advice. He's given me gigs. He's linked me to people, other DJs, and just spent a lot of time just sharing with me. Like you could tell he mentors and coaches. So make sure you guys check out his business as well too, because being an entrepreneur and doing this is not easy. And he's seen me do this full time too, and he's just helped me a lot, along with all the rest of you guys. MADLIVE's giving me great advice. Lockdown is such a like solid guy, you know, honest guy. I appreciate him. And DJJJONAH, oh my gosh, this guy's helped me like with overlays with my show, hearing me scramble, you know, pull out my hair. Like he's probably heard a lot too. So I think you guys are really truly awesome, you know, and I'm learning so much from you guys too. So I just want to thank you, you know, for coming on today as well. But let's go to DJ MADLIVE. I think he was going to say something.
Yeah, my biggest pressure is leading by example. That's my biggest pressure, because I have to be the very thing that everybody around me needs me to be before they actually can be it. I have to be the example. And it's so hard because when you don't have the knowledge of, like, say, like if I don't know how to communicate to my daughter, okay, I have to learn how to be that example. If I don't know how to do something simple like throw a baseball with my son, I have to become, you know, I have to learn how to play, you know, learn how to throw a ball before I can teach him how to throw a ball. You know what I mean? So that within itself, like Elegance said, there's so many things. That right there is like the umbrella, and everything else is up under it. And I mean everything else. You know what I mean? Especially the very thing that is like the most important, and that's the one that's right under us, or like as some people like to say, like right next to us, is our spouse, if you have one. You know what I mean? So like trying to be the example of a good communicator, a good provider. Shoot, I got to be good at math. I got to be good at English. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't have to be perfect, but you have to be the example because you're the leader. Okay. And they're looking to you. If your environment, like, and when I say your environment, your household, okay, if it breaks out and everything, like there's a storm, something's coming, they're looking at you. They're going to come and look at you. What do we do? What are we supposed to do? You know what I mean? Even with your spouse, if she has an answer, you know what I mean? She got like, okay, we're moving in that direction. But if she runs out of answers, they coming to you as the bottom line, like, look, what are we going to do? So it's that. Leading by example.
Well said. Well said.
No, absolutely. 100%.
Anyone else want to jump in?
I could piggyback off of both what MADLIVE said and Elegance said. I mean, the biggest pressure I think for me is role model, definitely. Whether we see it or not, whether we know it or not. I mean, even just be, you know, bigger streamer, smaller streamer, it doesn't matter. People are watching us constantly. Your kids are watching you. Your significant others watching you. People at work are watching you. Right. And the role for me, the role I play at work is a higher level role. The role I play, you know, at home, higher level role. I feel like on Twitch and streaming and stuff like that, I know a lot of people throughout the community. I know people are looking and they come in, even they'll DM me, whisper me, they'll ask me advice, all that stuff. And so that's a lot of pressure. I feel like that's a lot of pressure, and there's no right or wrong answer, but at the same time, they're looking up to you, and you don't want them to, you know, see you kind of fold too, you know. Kind of leads back to the whole me taking a break thing, right? I mean, it's the whole thing. Everybody's like, whoa, okay, he's not superhuman. He also has feelings, you know, and so that's huge, you know, because and not to say it's slowed down. And I don't want it to slow down. People still, I think even more now, people are coming, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? You know, so And I have those people that I look up to as well. So it's just the pressure of the pressure of performance, for lack of a better way of saying it, right? I mean, when we turn on the camera and all that stuff, everybody sees us and we got a smile on our face, but we could have a frown that you've never seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll never. Yep. I mean, you won't see it. Behind the scenes, you know, if you see somebody tearing because they get a 10-piece or a 5-piece, well, that's happiness. That doesn't mean they don't have problems going on in the background. That, you know what, that 10-piece, you just might have taken care of 2 bills for them. You know what I'm saying? So it's that pressure. It's just the pressure of performing and being that front face. So people you know, people are proud of you. You know what I'm saying? Just like you should be proud of yourself. But and we're not even talking, we're talking about other people. You haven't even added the pressure of you performing for yourself yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you, I know the gentlemen on this panel, they like me. Like, there is no second place, and it's not about competition. Realistically, it's just the fact that we don't like to be less than something. You know what I'm saying? We don't like to be lesser of a person. I always strive to be the best. I know I'm not going to reach perfection, but guaranteed perfection is in my head. It's never going to happen. I know that. But at the same time, you know what? We're going to come as damn close as we can. So
yeah, it's a great question there on the thing. I think
it is. That's a great question from
Shay. Because I think, like, we naturally, you know, we want to put out a certain product and we want to put it out at a certain level, and just like anything else, like, you know, Mac, Nike, like whatever it is, like, you know, things have a reputation of, you know, like having a certain standard, right? Like, and so I think there's that we want to show up consistently, right? Because we're putting, it's like we're choosing to do this. I mean, you know, speaking for myself personally, like, now that things are back open, like, I'm getting back to my level of work that I did before, right? Before COVID. So when I'm coming on Twitch now, I mean, it's definitely a lot, like, for me, like, for sure, like over 70-80% is like for my own mental health. It's one way I work out, playing music, but yeah, to be able to make something monetarily as well, yeah, it just helps, right? And it makes you feel like, hey, like, the energy and effort I'm putting into this, I'm getting rewarded physically, emotionally, right? The vibration of music, even playing for myself, it helps me. But then now I'm getting a little something, right? And particularly when things weren't open, yeah, like, I mean, if I made something, it was like, wow, like Lockdown said, this is helping me to take care of something, right?
right.
So I think there's like that pressure, and then, as you said too, like, just being a natural competitor, like, I want to show up and be the best version of myself, and I always want to be evolving and improving. And I've had other streamers, like one guy that was really helpful, I am DJ D Money. You know, when I first came on Twitch, I was literally doing off my phone on Wi-Fi. Like, it was like wild, you know what I mean? But I didn't have any resources, right? I didn't have a working desktop or a secondary laptop. So here I am streaming on Wi-Fi off my phone, catching sound. I'm in a small room, it's just bouncing around. And then I moved into my new place where I am, and my room became much bigger. So the sound really got compromised. And he's like, hey, he's like, when I go around from stream to stream, there's like a certain sound quality that I'm hearing that I'm not hearing on your stream. And it was painful, but I was like, I appreciate you, right? I drove out to see him. He hooked me up on a sound card, because now we're all getting hip to the game with Twitch and getting sound cards and running around and getting iRigs and all kinds of stuff. And he really helped me out, right? And I was like appreciative of that, because yeah, I don't want to suck. Like, I know I can play good music, but if no one can hear it, like, what am I doing on Twitch, right? People are just gonna leave, because audio wise, it's just terrible. So yeah.
For sure. So I just wanted to get, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm just trying to catch your messages here as well, sneaking peeks at the chat. So Pink Assassin, I'm glad you brought that up. That was one of my questions, actually, too. I like how you worded it. It says, what would you all tell your younger selves about how to maneuver through life with the knowledge you have now. I like that. I was going to put DJJJONAH on the spot, but he just slipped out for a sec. So if anyone else wants to jump in on this question, go for it.
I can jump in first, so if you guys need a second. So I would tell my younger self to slow down. Literally just slow down. Actually pay attention to detail more, pay attention to more stuff. Go all out. I feel like, and this could just be me, but I feel like I haven't always put forth my best efforts in things. I think I would be in a lot different place if I were to just focus on one thing, not be the person who is good at a lot of things, master of none. I think if I would have taken my time and basically, literally, even DJing, like I don't only DJ, you know what I'm saying? I also, like I said, I work very hard at my day job. I work very hard bowling and also DJing. So my focus is never on one thing, where if my focus was directly on one thing at a time, I probably would be a lot farther along than where I am in my eyes.
Awesome. Love it. Does anyone else want to jump in on that question?
I think for myself, I think one thing that I think I didn't realize I had this issue until later in life was anxiety. I think growing up, having parents divorce was very traumatic. I don't think I ever really maybe came to terms with it or really fully understood it. And I think it had a very traumatic effect on me. And I think what it caused was like a lot of anxiety, because I think, two rocks that I looked up to, it's like, well, why are you splitting apart? And what do you mean you guys are like separating? And like, what does this mean? And I think my mom told me, I think I said like, I'm fine, but I really didn't understand. Right. Like to me, it was just like, well, just go over there and talk to each other and just kind of make up. And it was like, then all of a sudden my dad is like not around. And so I think for me, anxiety like was something that I think got created, and what I think how it manifested itself, to answer the question, was like to operate with less fear. I think that's what I would tell myself. I think I've done a lot of really courageous things. I've really pushed myself in a lot of capacities with a lot of things. I think even just becoming a full-fledged entrepreneur and walking away from like a salary with benefits, with kids on the way, like it took a lot of courage for me to do that. But I sometimes feel like, man, like now I feel like I'm more embracing, like just go nuts, go big, go hard. But I wish I had like what I know now. I wish I had an extra 10 years. Like I said, I'm turning 50 next month. I wish I knew what I knew now at 40, right? Or even 30, because I feel like Lockdown said, maybe I would be in a different position. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I feel like, as I always say, you can't have testimony without the test, right? And so I also know that the wisdom I have now and the person I am now, I wouldn't be going as hard as I am now at this age if I hadn't gone through the things that I went through. But I think just overall, like, I would say, don't be afraid. Just operate with no fear. What's the worst thing that can happen, right? Like, put that crazy bid in, or apply here, or talk to these people that you don't know because you want to gain access to something over here. Like just talk to them. What's the worst that can happen, right? So I think that's one thing I would say.
Yeah, and that's some of the advice that Elegance has given me as well. Like just go for it, or apply or do certain things, right? Whether you're probably the best of the best or even the worst of the worst, like just try, which I appreciate too. I want to read this comment as well. I really like this. It says the original DJJU Ice says, I would tell myself, slow down, listen up, ask questions, do research, and don't sweat the small stuff, even when it seems big. But more importantly, be you, stay you, and love yourself more. Wow. Thank you so much. I really love that comment. That's awesome. I'm going to put DJJJONAH on the spot. I know you just came back, but is there anything that you would tell your your younger self now, that you wish that, just some advice that you would give your younger self, basically, or your 13-year-old self?
Yeah, I saw that on the questions. I don't really know how to really answer that. I mean, hindsight is 2020. So naturally you're more wiser now. I guess it's kind of, I guess I could piggyback what Lockdown had to say about taking your time. I would let him know to take in as much information as possible. Save your money. That would be a huge thing. Watch out for fake friends. Would be another thing. I mean, it can go a lot deeper. I just need to kind of give more thought to it to actually have something substantial to add to the discussion.
No, that's all great.
Yeah.
That's all great. Your feedback, what you said. I'm going to ask you guys too, because I know Elegance touched on it with anxiety. So I wanted to skip a few questions and go into this because I think it's really important. And I'm not sure if I really like the word mental health, like myself, because people associate mental health with mental illness. But if we're honest, every single human being, especially now, has gone through something, and if you've never gone through anything and your world is perfect, like Instagram or Facebook, then hey, just give your life some time, give a few more years, because everyone will deal with loss at some point. Everyone will deal with something that's been challenging and tough, right? So, and so I feel like mental health shouldn't even be, well, I don't know. I'm still feel a bit weird with that word. Because I feel like everyone goes through it if we're human. But was there ever a time that you struggled with mental health, and how did you get through and just push forward, even if you're going through something now? Like how are you kind of coping or getting through that as well, if anyone wants to jump in?
I'm gonna just jump in and say I like how you passed over the 3 questions that had something to do with women, but I'm not gonna say nothing.
Yeah, we'll get back to the women because I know the women are all going to be charged in the chat. But because Elegance mentioned anxiety, I thought it was a great. Yeah, I skipped over all the women questions.
I looked at them jaws. I was like,
well, the women are going to want to know this. I'm just keeping it 100. They're all going to jump in. But I skipped all the women questions, guys. I gave them the questions in advance so I wouldn't scare them. Just to let you know, DJ MADLIVE, I gave you guys the questions. DJ MADLIVE, before I interviewed him, he's like, girl, I'm going to have to listen to boom bap, like some real hip hop before I get on your show. Cause you're like Barbara Walters. You're going to make me cry, man. So he's like, I got to listen to some hardcore hip hop. I'm not that scary. I'm only 5'1", guys. I'm really not that scary, but I found that hilarious. And there's one thing that I've learned. Actually, maybe you guys could touch on this too. And we'll go back to this question. But my first interview was actually with Crazy Berry Town and her husband, and he passed away, recently, which was quite a shocker to me as well. But I'll never forget his interview, you guys. The way he spoke was unbelievable. And this was my first talk show I did with them. And he told me that women have the capability of really hurting a man with their words. So he said, it doesn't matter if a man's 8 feet tall or 7 feet and he plays football and he's this masculine guy. He's like, did you know someone that's like 4'11" can really destroy a man with her words? I'll never forget that. I'll never forget what he said to me, because it gave me like teaching advice to try to be kinder, or know that like you guys aren't superheroes, like tough skin all the time. So I don't know if you guys want to just jump on that comment before we go into the mental health question. But it's something I think about often, and he really taught me a lot of lessons just interviewing him, you know, and I'm so blessed that I had a conversation with him, Tim, before he passed away with Crazy Berry Town. They were an inspirational couple to me, and my first interview ever on my talk show. So if anyone wants to jump in with a comment that he said, what do you think on that?
For me, I seen a lot of men on here, different panels, different streams, different shows that deal with mental illness. Me, myself, I don't deal with mental illness. I attack it from a spiritual aspect. You know what I mean? I take everything to God. Like just that's how I've been taught, groomed, like ever since, you know, like ever since I got saved, ever since I accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as my personal savior. If now, do I still keep things bottled up? Yes, but to get it out, I have to give it, you know, I have to talk to my spiritual father and just get it out, because if I don't, it's just bad.
Yeah. Well, so to respond to the words comment, women's words can be like knives. They really can. They can hype you up and put you on a pedestal, or they can tear you down and put you to the lowest extent that you ever felt.
Under a rock.
Under a rock. Underneath a rock for the rock, like literally. Like I have experienced that myself. I'm not saying anybody else hasn't, but I have, where you were just looking for even a grasp, even if it was a white lie. I don't care. Whatever, but something, and it definitely didn't, the what was said didn't come out the way I thought it was gonna come out from the person it came out from. And it literally it put me into a place where I was just like, wow, I am a piece of trash. I am a piece of trash. So women's words can definitely hurt a lot. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's biblical, right? Proverbs holds out that it's better for a man to be in the wilderness than in the house with a quarrelsome wife.
Woo!
I mean, that's not my words. That's from the divine record. We got the example of Samson and Delilah. Here, Samson is running through the Philistines, but he couldn't deal with his wife. You know, those words from your mate, especially the one that holds your heart, man. You know, you talking about cutting like a knife? No, try a machete.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the one that holds your heart, when they go for you. Now, on the flip of that, the same can be said that it can boost. I've got boys right now. It's like, nah, ain't no way dude gonna make it. He got with a good woman, and she's been behind him, pushing him ever since. He ain't looked back. Mm-hmm. You know, yep. So it's all in. I mean, and we're not here trying. I'm not trying to bash female by any means.
No.
I mean, the question was presented, and so if you're asking me my opinion, those are my two examples. You know, just look through scripture, and you'll see. You know, here a man with God-given power, he couldn't do nothing with that woman. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, value the one that you're with. Try to build her up. You know, try to make it work. You know, so that we don't get into this arena where we got to use words like a knife or a machete.
Yeah, and again, words are power, right? Again, words are power. Like that's something I mean, I think I interviewed them 2.5 years ago, and I still think about what he said to me because I'm like, how does someone, and he's like, the size doesn't matter, like, so that really, really hit me hard, that, oh, you could be 4'11" and you can literally tear down a man that's like 7 feet just with your words alone. And that always stuck out to me, so I thought that was good that he said that. Anyone else want to jump in?
Elegance, it's up to you, brother.
I'm good. I think it's been covered. I think everyone said what I would say. So we can go on the next question.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we're gonna get to the lady questions too. And are you guys okay too? Because I know lockdown's got to leave soon. I know we're a little bit past.
Yeah,
are you
good.
guys okay to stick around?
No, yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay, I knew that. Like, I definitely.
I was talking my time. I was talking my time.
Oh,
I was
okay.
talking my time.
Okay, I appreciate you guys sticking around too. I had a power outage, so I was scrambling. Like, how am I going to do this? Am I going to do this in my car? Like, do I have to buy candles in my place? Everything's going to be dark. So I was like panicking, trying to figure this out. Oh, sorry.
I just gotta ask Elegance. Elegance, real quick. Wink once if she's in the room. Wink twice if she's not in the room. Is she by you? Is she by you, brother? Is that why?
Is no.
That's hilarious. Scratch your nose. Just go like this, Elegance.
You're safe. You're safe, bro. You're safe.
Just wink test. Yeah. Is this why Mad Live's outside? This is why he's outside. No, sure.
No, I'm outside.
Your wife is cool. I love your wife.
It's very nice out. Very nice out.
That's what they all say. That's what they all say. He's in the treehouse.
We have a truce. I'm not allowed to comment on that. I cannot confirm nor deny that comment.
Yeah, that's okay. No, I appreciate you guys and your honesty. So we're going to get back to that question too. Let's see. I know I skipped a few. So was there ever a time that you struggled with mental health, and how did you get through or push forward? And even if it's right now, like, how are you just pushing through?
Yeah, that's the one that I addressed. That's the one where I was talking about taking everything to my father.
Yes.
And, doing that. So that was my response to that.
Well, I think everybody knows for me, or a majority of people know, I took a break. I decided to go to Canada.
Nice.
Yeah. So no, I took a step back. I knew I wasn't gonna be gone long though. Just because Twitch is my mental break and my mental health. Turntables, music, that is my stability. 100%. So to be far away from that would have probably driven me even more crazy. I think I think just taking a break, pushing back, taking a look at everything that's in front of you, once again slowing down one day at a time, figuring it out, and seeing what you can do. So
yeah, I actually was diagnosed with depression back in what is that? That's got to be 2009. And so a good friend of the family had talked with me about not becoming addictive to what they were giving me. I forget exactly the medicine, but it was highly addictive. And so just kind of reading on it and just making my mind up, because depression is a state of mind. I would lean, like I stated before, on my family a little bit more. I still have bouts with it. At times, it still gets very, very dark. I got to say, Twitch has been very positive for me because I'm a content creator. It's not just about the music. It's about, our graphics. It's about putting on a show. We are broadcasters. So every time I go live, I want to be able to provide my audience with a newer experience. Shout out to Lockdown and Mad Live, the Echo Chamber. These brothers have pristine streams. And so looking at that, Elegance, I'm going to be in your stream the next time you go live. So because we got somewhat of a brotherhood going on here. But I have to say that's what it is like for me. Having a person I can lean on, you know, giving a call, giving a text, you know, to kind of just jar me out of this darkness. I don't really want to go into my personal thing. There's a lot of reasons why my thoughts be dark, because, you know, like I say, you know, my cheeks are puckered and life is just kicking me right in the rear. You know, there's just no other way to put it, you know. But I have to say that I truly appreciate Twitch because it does give you that creative outlet.
Oh, MADLIVE, I think you need to put yourself on mute. We could hear you making dinner in the background there. or doing something, maybe spraying something. Thank you so much for sharing that, DJJJONAH. I think that's really important. If anyone in the chat room has even remedies or things, if they've gone through depression, anxiety, I think we've all been there. And if there's anyone that has anything to add besides, you know, medication or therapy or anything that's helped them, definitely drop it in the chat room. Tara Lee says volunteering helped me out so much with my depression. Thank you, Tara Lees, for sharing that. I appreciate you. We got DJ Critical in the building, and NF. Is it Nflex?
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay, there we go. 21. I see you as well, and everyone coming through. Thanks for coming through. DT Jams Live. I see you, and Junior, Steph One Love, of course. Everyone else. DJ Camouflage too. So if you guys have any remedies, and I think it's really important to talk about this because, like, would you guys say that depression looks? Oh, you might need a light on you, DJ MADLIVE too. You're looking like a, what is it called? A silhouette or something.
Yeah.
But anyways, depression looks happy. So when you look at people like DJ Twitch, DJ from the Ellen DeGeneres show, that hit me so hard and got me so emotional seeing that, you know, in the morning, you're seeing his TikToks with his family, putting up Christmas trees, Robin Williams, Kate Spade, like the list goes on. Right. So, you know, I think depression is kind of like a happy face that we put on social media, but no one would really know what we're going through. So, like, how did you guys feel, I guess, about that situation? And, you know, do you have anything, like any remedies or anything? Like, is it having these honest conversations? Is it being more real in front of the camera? Like what is it? I don't know what the solution is to prevent people from posting happy, and we all do it, the highlights, right? But we're not really talking about what we're really feeling or going through. And maybe that could actually save someone's life from suicide or the things that happen to DJ Twitch. What are some things that you guys, like, how did you feel about that situation, I guess? And what did, like, if you guys have any remedies you could think for that, where we could be more honest. And I thank you, DJJJONAH, for sharing that too. That takes courage.
I think it goes back to, like, when you mentioned, do men have healthy outlets, right? So I don't know DJ Twitch or Robin Williams, right? So I don't really know, like, their belief system. I don't know their friend network. I don't know, you know, like, who they have to be able to turn to when things get really dark. I don't know if people are spirit focused. I don't know if they believe in God. So it's like, yeah, like I wouldn't, I you know what I mean? I wouldn't know. I mean, I think healthy outlets are good when you're not feeling good. I actually don't even know much about, you know, Jay Jonah was talking about how depression is like a state of mind, right? So, I mean, on one hand, I guess you could kind of be like, there's books around programming your mind about being positive, right? Like, what are the things that you're, like, consuming, like, visually, like, is it, like, you know, are you listening to the, like, music that doesn't have a healthy outlook? Are you around negative people? Do you feel stuck? Like, there's, like, a lot of things. I feel like it's pretty layered. But when I think to the times when I've been down or sad, like, moving, help getting physically engaged, working out, like, asking people to hold me accountable, saying I'm not really in a good place right now, like, I need you to check in on me.
Yep.
You know, definitely over COVID, like, for those of you who don't know, you know, our ridiculous politicians here in Ontario, we were probably one of the most locked down provinces, which would be your version of a state, like in all of North America. And there got to be a point where, yeah, depression set in, because I felt like what I've been able to do over the last 8 years, I feel like everything's been ripped away. And it's like I just turned to Twitch. Like Twitch would be like that outlet. So I turned to music, right? So I think friends, music, playing music, it's definitely part of my therapy wheel. You know, taking walks, talking to friends, those are things I think that can really help. To your comment just briefly on, you know, posting a video in the morning saying you're happy, and then like in the evening, you know, someone takes their life. Like, I think that's just sort of like the evil side of social media, right? As you mentioned, like everyone's putting on the highlight reel and trying to show the best version of themselves. And then meanwhile, there's like other things going on. Like that's, I mean, the level that he was at, like, you know, you're with a celebrity, you're on like a top 5, you know, morning or afternoon show, whatever her show is, like everyone knows who Ellen is. Like, I'm sure there's like a lot of pressure to keep up appearances. And if you actually admit that you're not doing well and you need to take a break, does someone else now come in and take your spot and you don't get it back? Like, you know, I'm a mobile DJ. Like the biggest pressure I have is making sure a bride is happy. Now it's still significant, you know, it's still something of significance, but I've never DJed in front of a stadium. I don't have the pressure of DJing on a talk show every day and the grind of what it's like to DJ in that environment. So like, there's so many other layers to things that could be slightly hard to kind of, for me personally, to kind of give my opinion on. But for me personally, I think, like I said, just playing music, talking to friends, exercising, taking action, like just kind of, one thing I've always said, I've maybe said it to you as well, even other DJ students I've mentored, I'll just say this last thing is that it's okay to feel the way you feel, right? But just don't do it for too long. Like you just can't afford to be in a space or a state for too long, right? So that's just kind of like advice I give to others and then even myself.
And sometimes it could be medically. I know with DJ Twitch too. I mean, I believe the Ellen DeGeneres show was ending, right? So I've heard, and that'll be another question I have for you guys, that a lot of identity in being a man is in your profession or in your job. So when that's stripped away from you, it's kind of like, where is your identity? I just want to read a few comments before we go to the next person here too. Mandy says, that's excellent advice. Tara Lee's is like, don't dwell on negative feelings. Disco Darren says, therapy helped me out quite a bit. Let's see here. I'm just trying to scroll through here. Junior says, personally, he doesn't like putting his problems out there, which could be kind of stuffing it down as well, which isn't good because eventually it comes out somewhere else, you know, from what I've learned recently. Let's see here. Mandy Mama says, my happy late and my rescue dogs help her. Disco Darren's like, I just go to the studio and rent some vinyl. That always helps me.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see. Pink Assassin says, when women do that at times, men don't always receive it, even in kindness. I think that was a comment from a statement that was made earlier. Let's see here. Mandy Mama says her husband swears by the gym. The original DJJUNAH says took a week off, like a whole week off from work. And Jody's like, when I feel depressed, I hit the gym and get my endorphins up. I like what the original says here. Last year, I went into depression live on Twitch. Got so bad, I took a whole week off. Shout out to DJ Papa Trini. He's an amazing man too, who stopped his stream. Wow, that's amazing. Who stopped his stream to pray for me. My therapy was DJing, and I DJ'd 73 hours straight. That is insane. 73 hours. That probably can't be healthy either, just going straight like that, right?
Were there any repeats?
Yeah, I hope you have the replay, man. I don't know, 72 hours doesn't feel very healthy, even 24 hours.
Yeah, what kind of deodorant was you using?
Exactly, I know. Jody Jam said low vibration music and media content can also increase your depression. What we consume is so important. Thank you, Jody, for that comment, because it really actually can increase it, or it can increase anxiety, the world of comparison or comparing shows or what you're doing. And you can't help, it's constantly looking through those reels and looking at images, and everyone seems to be better, everyone seems to be doing that, and subconsciously kind of can mess with you in your brain too. And they say that actually social media creates more depression and anxiety. It doesn't help it, it actually increases it, because you're looking at such a fake world, like completely too. Tara Lee says facts over feelings. I like what Tara Lee says here. You have to replace the lies with truth. That's something that she's talked to me off camera as well. Sometimes your brain, when you, like, if you've ever experienced a panic attack or anxiety, it's like your brain is saying things that isn't really necessarily true about who you are. Like, you're not good enough, or you're not this, you're not that. And you have to actually, like, replace those lies with the truth that you are, right? So that's something I've learned recently that Tara Lee's has mentioned to me as well. Yeah, so thank you guys for sharing. If I missed anyone, sorry, I apologize. We got David C. Dennis in the building too. Thanks for coming through. So if there's anyone else that wants to jump in, and Tilt, I see you.
There was one comment, a question. It was someone asked, like, who's the health professional on the panel? So, like, I know I'm not. I know, like, the question was sort of like, what do you do if you feel depressed? But I know that if someone is bipolar or there's schizophrenia, like, that's definitely above my pay grade, and that's definitely a more nuanced conversation, right, with like medication or other forms of therapy. But yeah, it was just another question that was in the chat.
Okay, I think I might have missed that. So yeah, I don't believe any of us are professionals on the chat, but we're just speaking honestly. We're just human speaking, they're just speaking honestly from their perspective with mental health. So if there's anyone else that wants to jump in, I guess with, like, we're just mentioning DJ Twitch, and
yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what Elegance had to say in reference to the state of mind. Taking in that bit of information helped me, because with it being a state of mind, basically, if you're sitting around and all you're doing is thinking negative thoughts, that's what you're going to be consumed with. There was a billboard right off of our freeway that asked that question: are you feeling depressed? Well, that triggered in me all of these negative feelings. So after reading that passage, this information I had gotten about depression, I had to say, yo, I gotta step out of this fog, so to speak. And so what you made mention as well about moving around, everybody is actually in the chat already, pretty much talking about it. Exercise is a key.
Yes.
As we are men over 40, our testosterone goes down naturally. Actually, it starts going down at the age of 30. And so by the time you've reached 40, it has depleted. And believe it or not, that's got a lot to do with your mental health. And so actually, there's so many little tidbits that I've been able to research. From 2015 to 2019, I dropped 70 pounds.
Hey.
Wow, amazing.
That was basically fighting this depression that had been upon me. I caregive for my father full time, and with that, there's a wrestling with demons. And I use that word demons as just monsters, as, nothing spiritual or supernatural, but there's a wrestling there. There's always a question, why are you in this position in the first place? It's a lot that goes on with it. But a better diet is very key. Again, removing those negative thoughts, talking with somebody, being able to confide in somebody, being able to say the right thing. Now, when Twitch actually did what he did, I'm gonna tell you where I was, and I'm not gonna embellish upon it or put more onto what I'm about to say. My first response when I heard it was he went through with it. And if you think about me saying that, where was I mentally? I was in a very dark place around that same time. And so my response was, he went through with it. You know, so I mean, it is a constant fight. It is a constant fight. And just finding things that will help you get out of it. Like I haven't medicated about it. I do talk to my doctor, you know, whenever I'm feeling down. And he said, hey, that's what I'm here for, you know. And I gotta say this, I gotta tell the world, my blood pressure is 110 over 60. What was it, 68? So, you know, we working over here, Honey Flo. We working.
Yeah. And even vitamin D and different vitamins I was reading, if you're deficient, like you're coming from Chicago, we're coming from Canada, it really actually plays a lot. And even people in the UK or whatever state you're in, it really, really plays a lot if you're not even getting like proper vitamins. It can play a lot on your mental health. Even drinking water, you know, they say as simple as that, like when you're dehydrated, it messes like even with your brain, you know, and like you said, diet too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Is there anyone else that has anything to add to that?
Well, I just want to add real quick, kind of like what Jay Jonah was saying. You know, it's a mental state, right? So here's a quote. Here's a quote that because you guys know I'm Mr. Quote all of a sudden, right? So here's a quote. I just got rid of it. Hold on a second. It says, let me get it real quick, but it's a quote that basically it's pretty much everything we're talking about right here. Hold on a sec. 1 sec. I just lost it because, of course, I had to go and touch buttons. All right. So it says, I accept the past as history and the future as unknown. Anxiety and worry will not change the past or predict the future. My time and energy are best invested in the present moment. Well, we can only live in the present. I've literally for the last week and a half, I say that over in my head over and over again. Live in the present, because I have noticed in the last few weeks, my anxiety has risen because of the fact that I'm trying to control my future. And I can't, you can't do it. There's nothing you can do about it. You have you walk the path and your future presents itself.
It's true. I've heard the same thing. If you're living in, like you said, exactly what you said, you know what I mean? If you're living in the past, it's one thing. If you're living in the future, it's one thing. You just have to live in the present, which is like, you know, you talked about earlier about sort of like, is it hard being, I mean, it's hard being human, but it's hard being, you know, a male. We have like a lot of responsibilities. Like, you know, you're thinking about things in the future, bookings, gigs, things you got to do. You know, we were fathers, caregivers, we're responsible to others. It's like, you know, just trying to think about today, right? I mean, I know the Bible even talks about it as well, right? Like, you know, don't worry about, you know, tomorrow, because today has enough worries of its own, right? But at the same time, like, North American society, the world, like, we're always thinking about what's next, what's happening, like,
right,
you know, what am I going to eat later? Like, what's happening tomorrow? What are we doing this weekend? It's like, you know what I mean? We're always living in future tense or past tense. It just seems like the state that we're in is like, we're just getting through it to just get to like the next thing, right? We're not even as present as we need to be.
We're not living in the moment.
Yeah, not at all.
Right.
Yeah, that's so true. I have to be reminded of that daily. Like, don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow has its own worries. One thing I can say that helps me is just being in nature. You know, you look at all the birds, they're flying around in this polluted water out here. And I'm like, how do they find food? They're so calm. It's icy here in Canada. Well, not today, but I mean, like, how do they even manage, you know? And it says, like, are you not more important than the birds of the air? And I have to remind myself, not even just daily, but sometimes hourly, especially with the state of the world and where it's going. It can be very, very overwhelming. So thank you for that. I appreciate that, Elegance, and you guys sharing. Is there anyone else that has that?
Yeah, you got one more. You got one more. I really didn't want to. I didn't want to go here, but I gotta go because it's what I've been told to do. So, as far as that Twitch thing, that DJ Twitch thing, if we're blessed enough to be here, y'all can best believe the truth about that gonna come out. We gonna know why. It's gonna get revealed. You know what I mean? So like, just we don't know when, but the truth is gonna come out about that. Now, the reason why I say that is because everything, and this is something that my wife says a lot. She says everything that's done in darkness will be revealed. You know what I mean? It will come to the light. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I just recently talked on my podcast last Saturday. Okay. Now I want y'all to know before I tell you all this information, I'm okay. All right. I'm good. But this is something I'm in the midst of a storm right now. Okay. I'm going through right now. Okay. And I talked about in my podcast last Saturday about eating my own gun. Okay. Now, with that being said, the mental health of my brain, I am mentally strong. Okay. I don't deal with mental illness. Okay. Like I said, I take everything to the Lord. You know what I mean? The Lord said, trust in him with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. Okay. If I apply that to my life, okay, I can get through the rough moments of what's going on in my head mentally. Let me give you another one because I don't know this one by heart. It says, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take of my yoke upon take my poke on you and learn of me. For I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. Okay. So like, again, if I take these things to him, I had people calling me that these relationships that I've made from Twitch, people sending me music, people asking me am I okay, coming to me in DMs, you know what I mean? They're asking me, am I good? And I'm responding to them. I'm not letting them know what's going on per se in the situation, but they're checking on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the main thing that I want to let y'all know is, and this is for anybody out there that struggles with this thing, as far as mental health, I take a lot on myself. So when I feel like an extreme failure, that's when it gets to a point where I'd rather just take myself away, just rather take myself out. You know what I mean? That's how I got to that point. You know what I mean? But in the split second, in the blink of an eye, I can hear the voice of my Father speaking to me. You know what I mean? Letting me know that I'm protected, that his angels are encamped all around about me. And this is something that I talked about in my podcast. And I talked to my brother called me and he was like, what do you mean you're thinking about eating your own gun? And I was like, well, I prayed about it and I need to get rid of it. And I explained to my brother, I said, if I say that I trust God and I trust his word, and he tells me that his angels are all around me to protect me, then I need to trust in him and what he says. I don't have to go get physical protection. And it is true. I'm never in harm's way. There's never a dangerous situation. You know what I mean? This is something that I did because the law told me that I could do it, and I did it. My brother's a police officer, and he said, go do it before they take your civil right away from you, things like that. But my thing is, my bottom line is to trust in the Lord to protect me and keep my mind right. You know what I mean? So that in that situation, I was able to unload, drop it off, and not go that route. And I am in the pursuit of getting rid of it so that I can trust in the Lord more and depend on him, because he said his yoke is easy and his burden is light. So I really don't need it. But I wanted to share that because like Lockdown said earlier, y'all see me smiling, but your boy going through, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, this is a very tough time for me right now. And it's not that I'm not suicidal. I see suicide as a weakness. You know what I mean? Like, and that's me. You know what I mean? I would never, I know that I wouldn't take my life, because if that thought kicks in, that suicide is a weakness, it's not going to take place. And plus the things that I know from my brother being a police officer, if you're going to do it, like Jonah said, he did it. He went through with it. You see what I'm saying? Those that are going to commit that act, they do it and you don't know nothing about it. You don't. They just do it. You know what I mean? There's no written letter. There's no, I'm going to do this, nothing. Those people that you hear from that speak about it and have the strength to speak up on it are seeking help.
Yes.
They're seeking help. They want help. You know what I'm saying? Because they are struggling with it sometimes. Now, in my case, I'm going to God for my help. But other people, their situation, they might need a counselor, a doctor, medication, what have you. You know what I'm saying? But that's my take on that. That's what I do.
Whew, that was a whole message. I feel like I need to throw out all my papers right now. That was a message. So I want everyone to throw up some ones in the chat right now if they would buy DJ MADLIVE's book.
Yo,
I don't think he realizes he's going to do a book, but like, I want you guys throwing some ones in the chat right now if you would buy DJ MADLIVE's book. Whew, I'm done. I don't even know what to say anymore. That was a message. So the ones are going up for MADLIVE. No, because he definitely has that special gift, man. Primary sources, Tara Lee's. I could tell, you know, Elegance is a mentor and a coach. I mean, that's in his nature too. Steph One Love, you know, DJ Camouflage. You guys are all helpers, actually, really, in the chat in different ways. I see that. DJ Lockdown, you guys are encouraging me today. I don't think you even realize, seriously, listening to you guys. DJ Lockdown, DJ Elegance, MADLIVE, he put up some ones too for himself. Yeah, and Pink Assassin's like, you better preach. Yeah,
stuff on the back.
Yeah, you got to get started, but I'm really excited. You guys got to listen to MADLIVE's podcast because it's gonna go somewhere. I'm telling you, it's gonna go beyond Twitch. And what was it? I keep calling it Brothers Keeper. It's Brothers
Unguarded.
Brothers Unguarded, you guys, every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, right? And it's powerful. And I really hope you guys can connect as well, like after this show, like connect with each other more, because you guys really are great caliber guys, and it is good to be around men that can support each other, right? Because there's only so many things we know. We don't know everything either, or what you guys go through. That's why it's good to have these discussions. So is there anyone else that wants to add to that before we move on to the next question too? Or are you guys good?
No, MADLIVE dropped the mic. We can move on.
Yeah, he dropped the mic, man. He dropped everything. He dropped my hat. He dropped my papers here. I don't even know where I am right now. I'm like, oh shoot. Yeah, man, you got a special gift, MADLIVE. I'm telling you, it really, it is really, really special.
And you're not gonna make me cry, honey Flo. I'm not doing it.
Oh, we're gonna try. We're gonna try. No, but you really do though. You really do, and I'm really excited to see. And I'm really rooting for you as well. Like, I think all of us are here. I really feel like something big is going to happen with you because you do have that special gift, Can
I just say this? Everything that y'all are saying, man, honey, you're not going to do this to me. I hear y'all and I appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? And like, I try to stay humble. I teach my sons to stay humble. And I hear it and I appreciate it. And I do know, you know what I mean? And this is the best thing that I could tell y'all. And it's not, this segment, I'm not trying to take a moment for me, but there is a book in me and I'm struggling to get it out. I am. There's a book in me, you know what I mean? And I don't know, but the podcast is the beginning of me stepping into what I'm supposed to do. So just, keep a brother lifted up and, keep me encouraged. Cause, like even coming into this right now, when we first started, every time I talk, my heart pounds. And I know like, it's like when you step out of your when you have to step out of your comfort zone, it's something else. It's something totally different. You know what I mean? So
it'll come together, right? Because like when you're when you already know this, right? When you're walking in that level of alignment and when you're operating in your quote unquote zone of genius, then like things are gonna start coming together, right? Magically and divinely, because it's like meant to be, right? It's just who you are, what you do, and like it will happen, right? So yeah, just take things as they come. And if you said the podcast is sort of like maybe it's the thing that kind of initiates you kind of getting over the edge, and then yeah, just start getting some thoughts written down and start building it, right? So
Yeah, just start. Like, I mean, I know I say that to you, but I was on a phone call with MADLIVE, like freaking out about certain things. He was encouraging me because I was a scaredy cat too with certain things. But I just want to share something quick that happened to my friend here, Tara Lees. She's not a speaker, and she says that all the time. And she just felt in her heart that she should share her story on TikTok. And it's a pretty deep story. She's been through a lot of roller coaster journey. And she just was like, you guys, I'm not really like a public speaker, but I'm just going to speak from the heart and do what God's calling me to do. And I'm telling you guys, I don't know if it was her second video. It went viral to over 200,000 people within 3 weeks. She was at over 4,000 followers on TikTok. And she got a lot of hate too. People were like, calling her all kinds of names, and I was like a little pit bull back there on the keyboard trying to fire back to protect my friend. But like, it's amazing that like, people are quick to look at a video and judge someone, kind of like a China, what recently happened to Black China, which I love her story and I love her transition and everything that's happening with her right now. It's like so exciting and inspiring to me. But like, yeah, so Tara Lee's definitely, you guys check her out on TikTok. Yeah. And she says, bless the haters. So she never expected this to happen. And now she's encouraging me to share my story. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it. Like the internet could be really nasty, but like, I'm just telling you guys her story because like, you don't know what he's going to do with it. And you don't know what lives you can touch. And it doesn't matter about the following. Maybe the show is just for one person. Maybe the show can save one person's life, right? So that's all that really matters in the end. What we do with our lives, the legacy, and what imprint are we going to leave here for such a short time, right? What's that going to look like to you? So MADLIVE has a special gift. Hey, how you doing? I remember him. What did he say to me last time? He gave me the best advice. Do you remember that? Remember what he said, MADLIVE?
I remember what he said. You remember what you said?
In our interview, he said, I think he said, address me as, does he remember?
He's thinking about it.
No, I don't remember.
I think he said something like address me as this way, or I can't remember what he said. It was, I liked it. It's pretty cool. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, that's good. How old is he again? How old are you again?
7.
7.
I'm
So you're in grade 2 or grade 1?
Grade 2.
Oh, grade 2. Wow. You're pretty big.
I'm almost about to be 8. April 22nd.
April 22nd. Are you doing anything for your birthday? Do you want anything for your birthday? That is the key. It's best to say it now so you could try to get it.
I really don't know what I want. I just want to like. I don't care what I get.
Aw, that's hey, good teaching him. That's awesome. He's so cute. Do boys like to be called cute, by the way? I'm just curious because I always say that. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute.
I like to be called handsome.
That's
There you
it.
go.
That's
Okay.
exactly what he said.
There you go.
He said that in our interview last time. He said, yeah, just call me handsome. You are very handsome. Very handsome.
Thank you.
All right. It's nice seeing you as well. Aw, maybe I'll do a show interviewing kids next time. But yeah, just walk in it. Just do it. It's going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to do it too. And, you got to do what he's purposed you to do. And it comes so natural to you, MADLIVE.
Right.
So we're rooting for you. And everyone here says they're going to buy your book. So you better get on
There
it.
you go.
Yeah. So the next question I have too, and everyone's still okay. I know lockdown's got to go soon too, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting there as well, Honey Flo.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're probably going to wrap up. I know we won't get to all the questions because we've already been on for quite some time now. But I did, if it's okay to ask you maybe one or two, and then we
Rapid fire. Let's
all right, rapid fire. Okay, so one quick thing, you guys don't all have to answer, but you can if you like to. We're going to get back to the women questions because I asked you a lot of deep questions. What do women misunderstand the most about men from your perspective?
Everything. I'm gonna leave it at that.
There you go. Rapid answer, rapid fire. Yep.
Wow. Okay then.
I think I would say, what do they? I don't know. I think we're like maybe more simple than they think. I think we can also be a little bit more complex. Like, I think we're, I think, I don't know. That was a good one. I mean, I think maybe it's a love language. Like,
Oh, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, like, for me, it's all about actions, right? So I display my love through actions. So it's like the trash, cleaning things, running errands, doing little things. So I think, relationally, I think if women understood a man's love language, then, maybe it could change or alter not so much their expectation, but like how it's expressed. So he doesn't show me he loves me. He never says he loves me, but it's like he's providing, he's doing all these other things. He's getting things ready. He's thinking of you. He's supporting you. He's talking to you about your day. He's providing advice or input or taking the kids out while you're having a hard time or having a ladies' night or whatever. But it's like we seem to miss those things and we take it as like, oh, he doesn't care. He doesn't ask me anything. And it's like, but the love is there, right? So
I got a big one. And we can move on. Ladies, we are husbands, not children. We're not your children. We're husbands. We are your husbands, not one of your children.
Man, life set the bomb off.
And wait, let me I gotta add to that as well, please. I do. Yep. Y'all done started something. So we are not all the same. Because of the fact, I'm gonna say this too. Something happened in your past doesn't mean your future person is going to do the same thing. Stop treating everybody as the same. We are not.
Getting hot in here.
Whew. Yeah, we got to play Hot in Here by Nelly. And ladies, don't fire back in the chat. Be very calm because we want to find out this information as well. Wow, that's good. That's good. Anyone else? Jonah, you're a little quiet there. A little quiet. Let's hear you. Come on.
With the knockout blow, Jonah. We came with the body shot.
I promise I'll protect all you guys. Sure.
Knockout blow. Let's go, Jonah. Let's go.
Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute, Jonah.
Yep. All that knowledge just going to waste right now.
That's how potent it is. Even the computer was like, oh my gosh.
He was speaking in male language. That's how we talk.
The computer was like, this is too much fire. I gotta mute this for a second. There's just too much fire.
Clarky, you're correct.
Look here.
Yeah, Clarky, we're talking to the men right now. So you know.
I'm not touching that one. I'm gonna let my guys, they said everything that needed to be said.
Are you sure you don't want to say something just a little bit?
No, because we could be here another 2-3 hours if I say something.
Hey,
Jonah,
I wouldn't mind.
Wink once, Jonah. You're okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
I know. I saw him looking left and right. I was like, oh, is wifey in the kitchen or around, or
No.
Yeah. Anyone else, or you guys pretty much said it?
We're good.
Okay, I appreciate that. Okay, so then do you think women and men are on the same page with communication? If so, or if not, how can we be?
Absolutely not.
No, we're not.
No,
we're not. So they say that statistically 2 things kill relationship, especially marriage, is money and communication.
Yep.
So again, that's like the love language, like how we communicate, how we perceive, how we interpret things, our past trauma and baggage, like it's all put into the thing, So I think if like communication, we got to be able to find common ways to work through the issues. We have to, when problems arise, we have to be able to have a level of communication where we can talk about things respectfully, to kind of agree to disagree, marinate, come back in a healthy way. I think for women, you know, just broad stroking, I think, you know, I think for a lot of men, sometimes we don't want to address something right in the moment. We want to like let time pass. Whereas it seems that women want to be like, no, like we need to solve this like right now. And so sometimes I think it's like just having space and then like coming back when people are like less triggered, less emotional. And we can, like, the whole idea of the conversation is to reach like a level of commonality to be able to move forward again healthily, right? That's not kind of in a word, but you know, we want to have a resolution, but we're not going to get there if we're just triggered and yelling, and it's just situation becomes manipulative or coercive or heady. Like, it's just all things that are going to pull things into the wrong direction. So yeah, like Jonah said, this is like another podcast, but I think those are some of the things, maybe like high ticket items that are like some of the issues with communication, and like what gets brought into the arena when you're trying to like I said, move forward in a healthy direction.
Yeah. Is there anyone else that wants to add to that?
Yeah. Can I add number 3 to that? Because
go ahead.
He pointed out 2. He said money and communication. The third is sex.
Yes.
Now
Yeah,
listen. I've been telling people for a while. Okay, ladies, listen. How men, we struggle. A lot of men. Okay, and like I said, I don't generalize, but a lot of men, we struggle with communication because we try to communicate how y'all want us to communicate, and we're not good at that. Okay, allow us to communicate the way that we communicate best. Open up and be accepting to that, and learn how to, like Elegance said, have that balance within that. And then some things will, you know, come to pass or come to head that you've been fighting for, that you've been struggling for. You know what I mean? Like, you want a man to communicate to you well? I'm gonna give you, listen, my brothers might get mad, but I'm gonna give it to you. Okay. You can take a man at the peak of anger. Okay. You can take a man at the peak of anger, like he's completely ticked off, ready to blow. Grab him, hug him, kiss him. How can I say this? And have sex with him. Watch how fast he comes down. Mm-hmm. Watch how fast. Listen, I even did a study on that thing. Mm-hmm. Watch how fast he comes down. Don't listen. You can't meet a man when a man is here. Don't try to meet him at that level or succeed above that level to try to bring him down. Come from a place where he can relate to you, where he can communicate. Okay, and it seems like the wrong thing to do. Like, oh, sex is the answer. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's the communication that is produced through that. Try it.
Like, have sex with him when you guys are both angry. But wouldn't that be your love language is probably physical touch, and Elegance is probably acts of service? The way
this is how. Listen, this is how.
A lot of men are touch.
Exactly. Most, listen, now that's where you can generalize. 9.9.5, 9.8. Most men's love language, one, is physical touch. Touch him. Just touch him. I'm getting emotional.
Well, I didn't know that. I actually, RL Breezy says men interpret sex as respect. Go ahead.
Just for clarity, I was saying like my love language with my partner is actions, but I actually have never. I would have to look into that MADLIVE about like, yeah, it's kind of like what is mine personally. Like, I mean, definitely intimacy is definitely up there, but yeah, I don't know. I know for myself personally, I can't always say that when I've been angry, that for me personally, that the first thing I'm turning to is like intimacy, because sometimes for me personally, I'm just like in a different state where I'm just I feel like turned off, angry.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Watch this. Like, and this is directly towards Elegance. Watch this. You're upset at a high level. You mean to tell me if your wife came over to you and did something like this, touched your shoulder, squeezed that bone, you're not going to calm down? It's not going to change the way you thinking at that moment?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want to say yes, definitely. But yeah, like it's for me, it's a bit layered. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like when I'm angry, sometimes I'm just like, leave me alone. Like, I don't want you around me. I don't want to be touched. I don't want to. I'm done talking about this, right?
Right.
So
right.
Yeah.
Also, in love languages, people understand this. Whatever your love language is, that's the one that you project. You also have to learn the other one as well, the one that has to be reciprocated. You have to learn the other one. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, there's this, you're only taking. You're only taking. You know what I mean? It has to be a give and receive.
Right. Well, and to add to the communication piece too, which a lot of people don't realize is, and this goes both ways. This isn't just for the men. This is for the women too. This is both ways. When you communicate with no judgment. Everybody wants to sit, you know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that I feel a certain way, you want to judge what I'm saying. It's no. I'm saying like MADLIVE said, I'm communicating to you in my way.
Right.
So don't judge me for that, because now you're shunning what I'm saying.
Or try to alter it.
Right. Or try to alter it.
Right.
Take what you have to take, what is being said, and soak it in and process it in your own way, however it may be. But don't judge because of the fact that, number one, okay, first of all, be able to agree to disagree. That's huge. But once again, no judgment, because of the fact that, you know what, that just may be the way I deal with things. And okay, you're a separate person. You may not be able to deal with it the same way, but you have to process it. That's the part of being in a relationship. You got to understand each other, and you got to be able to process that. That's being grown.
We need a rapid fire segment. This could get long.
Yeah,
for real.
You guys are truly amazing. Thank you for sharing. I've learned so much today. You have no idea. And I think a lot of people in the chat have learned something as well. So I'm going to invite you guys back. I know we could chop it up for another 4 hours easily, but I don't want to tire you guys out. So we're going to save it for a second show. And I hope to have you guys back here again. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really think so highly of each and every one of you guys, and wish you, so much, like just everything that you put your hands to, that it prospers, and, in your companies, and just your books, your new book, DJ MADLIVE, and everything that you guys do. I really wish the best for you guys. So let's see. Yes, Steph One says, great convo, everyone. And so thank you guys so much. And everyone coming through, listening. I hope you guys learned something too.
Salute to the chat.
Yes, salute to the chat. Do you guys want to give some shout outs too? Jump in there
I'll just shout out, like, everyone that came through, Appleton crew, all the day ones, like everyone else. I mean, kind of stumbled onto Twitch, and it's just been great to make connections with DJs like around the world. One thing I shared, just shameless plug, is that as an arts-based educator, I've done 2 years of fundraising using this platform, and just leaning on the friendship of other streamers. And over the past 2 years, I've raised $9 grand for my music and leadership program, where we bought equipment, DJ controllers, drums, all kinds of equipment to work with young people, to like offset some staffing costs when budgets were short, to make sure that young people can go out there and really be empowered by the work that we're doing. So yeah, like, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here and talk. And I definitely look forward to building with you guys more, supporting your streams, getting to know you guys. It's like my DJ family has extended again. If I ever come to Chicago, Philly, where y'all at, like, I'm definitely hitting you guys up, and want to make the connection. The other thing, just quickly, I definitely want to big you up, Honey Flow. I know you're doing this like, weekly, always having guests on. You prepare very diligently and very meticulously. And having been a podcaster, not so much on Twitch, but more on internet radio, I know the tremendous amount of work that is required to like put in the promotion, the graphics, to ask like really thoughtful questions, right? That are kind of unique based on the relationships and interactions you have with each streamer. And I don't know if people really understand the amount of like detailed work. Like, you're not just asking, you know, like, why do you guys DJ? Like, you could ask everybody that every week, right? It's like there's like really heartfelt questions that speak to each one of us on your streams you do weekly. And so I definitely want to big you up for the work that you're doing, and also continue blessings to you. Like, we want to see you continue to soar, and appreciate you keeping this space open for us to have conversations other than just seeing us smiling on our streams, right? There's like stuff going on in our lives, and we have this space to share, right? So we really value and appreciate you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that comment. So I'm just trying to, actually, before we leave and raid out, I want to raid out after 8 p.m. because, you know, people normally raid. So I wanted to go after the hour. I don't know if he's still on, but he's someone that has supported my show, and I want to really support him back. It's DJ Phil the Real. Is anyone, I don't know if anyone could check to see if he's still on. I'm kind of trying to scroll as well. Yeah, I think he's still on. So we're going to raid out to him. But before we raid out, do you guys just want to give, it's not a shameless plug, your plugs. So let everyone know when your shows are, basically your next show, what you're doing. I know DJJJONAH's got a big raid coming up that I'm on Monday. So if you guys just want to, share your shows and ensure that everyone in this room follows them, you guys. These are all great guys. DJLOCKDWN, DJJJONAH, DJ MADLIVE, DJ ELEGANCE. You're lucky I don't have my echo effect on, but they are really, really great guys. So make sure you guys follow them, and feel free to follow me if you were digging the vibe as well. So if you guys want to just mention your next shows and what you have coming up too, or if it's a business or a book signing at a cafe, let us know.
My shameless plug is I only stream on my days off. Friday, come see me on Friday at 5 p.m. What is it? Boom Bap, Rhythm and Blues, Requestful Fridays. Come in, select a song, any song you want. I will play it for you. Okay. I don't even cut the songs off. Podcast on Saturday, 10 a.m. and Soulful Sunday Soul Vibrations, and the Verses is on Sunday at noon, all Eastern Standard Time.
Elegance or?
Just so for me, I do Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9:30 Eastern. Tuesdays is called Toonie Tuesdays. I do like hip hop, R&B, and generally slow jam sometimes. And then on Thursday, I call it Tropical Thursday. So I play dancehall, soca, and Afrobeat.
I do Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and then raid trains throughout the week. But Tuesdays is Twitch Homie Tuesdays. Me and, of course, all my Twitch homies, we get together, do 5 of us get together, and we go back to back. Excuse me. I'm on Tuesday. I'm on at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern. And then Saturdays is Saturday Day Party. I'm on from 11 a.m. Pacific, and that's 2 o'clock Eastern. And Sunday is Vibing Out Sundays from 11 a.m. And 2 o'clock Eastern.
I have the M Lounge, which is the music lounge. Usually I stream Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My show is a variety show. Everything from throwbacks to Afrobeat to house music to slow jams. And I am starting to build momentum on being featured on more of the major raid trains, not to say anything about the other ones. And then I'm also the creator of 3 Times Dope, which is coming up this Tuesday. We got DJ Tantrum, DJ Chaotic, and DJ Spartacus. That 3 Times Dope is strictly for the dope DJ. The motto is we don't need 99 DJs on one raid train. Actually, DJ Lockdown is alum of 3 Times Dope, him, DT Jams, and Nerd Chris did the March edition. Really want this to be the Twitch party of the month, where we put the best DJs out there. That one day, and it's floating. Seems like it's starting to float now. It was on Saturday, but to get the bigger names and to get more eyes on it, we got to kind of float it for their schedule. So it'll be this Tuesday, the 18th. And then the day before, as Honey Flow may mention, is my 1K celebration. And she's also being featured on that. I'm not streaming this Friday or Saturday because I have in real life events that I'm actually doing. So I'll be off this week, but Monday and Tuesday is going to be epic. And then I'll be back on next Friday.
All right, awesome. Hey, Chakra and Tracy, I see you coming in here as well. So we're going to raid out, and a big thank you again to all you guys. Thanks for sticking around so long, to DJ Fresh. I got still a whole list of questions, so we are going to have a part 2. These are all my questions here.
Hey,
and all the
Honey,
questions.
Honey Flow, real quick.
Oh,
This is a real quick shameless plug again, real quick. So anybody who's in Philly meetup is this Friday and Saturday. We'll be tearing it down Friday and Saturday. So Philly meetup. If you haven't gotten your tickets, I don't know if Shay-Tay has any more.
Shay-Tay's, yes.
Yes, or she's even, I don't know if she's opening it up. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there is a brunch that anybody can go to, but you gotta get with Shay-Tay and get your money in for that. So,
okay, dope. So yeah, it's Shay-Tay's meetup, guys, in Philly. So make sure you guys check it out. Hit her up, Shay-Tay, as well. She plans a lot of different things. Thank you so much, Jangus, for subscribing 20 months strong with me. Wow, I can't believe it's been this long. I appreciate you so much as well. And, listening and taking part in the conversation we have here. So let's go to, we're going to go to DJ Phil the Real, you guys. He's a really great guy too. I'm going to set up the raid here, make it easier. I'm going to try raiding a few times and hopefully this works. So I'm going to start it off here. Just copy my message, say hi to him, throw some bees in the message too. The raid message I think would be cute. Throwing him some, should I say cute? Maybe not. Since your son said handsome. But yeah, you guys could grab the raid message here. Let's see, did that work? This raid. Oh, yes, it is working. Okay, so yeah, make sure you say hi to DJ Phil the Real. Thank you guys again for joining me, just being so open and honest. That's what today was all about. And I appreciate you guys. I'm definitely rooting for you guys. And I can't wait to see what this year is going to bring for each and every one of you guys too. I know it sounds like I'm delivering you guys a wedding toast right now. Speech. All right, so we're gonna yeah, no problem. Thanks for sticking around, Lockdown too. Wow, and Elegant, all you guys, 3 hours. Wow. Over 3 hours.
Shout out to my brothers, man. Y'all made me feel real comfortable in here today. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, and you guys make sure you connect with each other, add each other, connect with one another, and and have conversations.
I just got to catch up with Elegance more. That's all. But them other two up there, they
Look, man, I just want a hug, man. Live. That's all I want is a hug.
Hey, man, I got you.
I just want to learn how to DJ better, so I'm going to be hitting up all you guys. Be able to scratch and do what you guys are doing.
Just keep doing.
Thank you very much, DJ Honey Flow. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let's see if the raid, I think the raid is just going through.
Well, shout out to Steph One Love.
Yes, yep. Steph One Love. Thank you so much for coming through. I was thinking about her as well. Sorry? It did raid? Okay, so I'm gonna try raiding just 2 more times quickly. Because sometimes it misses people. Like some people always say that they're left behind. Okay, so I'm going to, see, Clarky says no raid here. Thanks, RL Breezy, Clarky, everyone else coming through, Pink Assassin, everyone pretty much.
Looks like it went through.
Thanks for coming through. Okay, so I'm going to do it one last time. I think we're good.
I'm still in the room. I
didn't even know you could raid multiple times. How do you do
that? You just keep putting in your phone like the raid.
You just keep doing it.
Yeah, I just keep doing it. See, Clarky's saying she's not raiding out. That's okay. Well,
I didn't raid out either, and I'm on your channel.
So everyone go to DJ Phil the Real He's got a lot of underscores. So just find him. He's a really great guy that supports my show.
Looks like
Okay, so it went through. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you guys. Make sure you get something to eat. Keep in touch. You guys are awesome. You guys rock, and we'll definitely be in touch off of the shows. Okay, so yeah, have a great night.
appreciate y'all. Try to get some rest before I got to go to work.
Oh,
Big up,
shoot.
everyone.
All right,
Big up.
y'all.
All right, take
Definitely.
care, you guys.
Peace.
I'll see y'all on Twitch streets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, see you guys.